Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Utility Sports. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a live stream watch party here between the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, some playoff implications on the line for the Chicago Bears. Right now, with a win, they could control their own destiny and pass up the Arizona Cardinals. So that is something to watch at this point after the Cardinals lost last night. And also, quite frankly, this has a lot of implications long-term for the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Austin, walk us through kind of what you're seeing with that.
Yeah, for Trevor Lawrence, obviously it comes down to basically if the Jaguars don't win a game the rest of the year, Trevor Lawrence is theirs. But because of the strength of the schedule is too much of a difference for the Jets to ultimately make up. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Jacksonville, I mean, if they win a game here, they definitely are probably going to lose out on Trevor Lawrence. So same thing applies for the Jets as well. Obviously, there's a lot of implications for a franchise on the line. We're going to have to just continue to monitor that. So that's kind of what we have going on here right now. As you enter the chat, please let us know what you think of the games today.
Yeah, if there's any specific matchups you guys seem to like the most or anything like that. 2814. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting week, too, here in the NFL. Obviously, a lot of teams are jockeying for playoff position, too. That's going to be something to really watch at this point. And also for the Chicago Bears, this is a meaningful week. This could be ultimately saving the jobs of multiple members of that organization, especially the quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky. Matt Nagy obviously had been on the hot seat a little bit this year. Offensively, they haven't been quite what they're supposed to be with the hiring of him a few years back. And also Ryan Pace, that obviously is going to be around, is my estimation, but missing the playoffs for a second straight year after the Khalil Mack trade would probably not bode well for him long-term in his career. Making it to the playoffs this year would be a big help for them as we get kickoff here and the Jaguars bring it back to about the 22-yard line. Austin, what are some of your players to watch in this game?
Really important player, obviously, Mike Glennon. Obviously, he's a guy that Doug Marrone's going to lean on in this game. They bench Gardner Minshew once again. Also, something to monitor is James Robinson is not in this game. That is kind of what we're looking at right now for Jacksonville. Dare Ogunbowale is getting the start for Jacksonville, so that is something also to monitor. Daryl Ogunbowale up to the 23-yard line for a 2-yard gain for Jacksonville. Everybody in the chat, spam your favorite team. Let us know why you're here in the stream. This is a really big week for not only the Jets, but the Jags. Also noteworthy, it looks like the Cleveland Browns are getting close to scoring on the Jets.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game to watch, too, as well. You had, a contact tracing issue there with the Cleveland Browns wide receiver room. Jarvis Landry's out, Rashad Higgins is out, Donovan Peoples-Jones is out. You're looking at a very, thinned out team. They lost a lot of their receiving depth. And now at this point, we're going to, it's going to come down to really this week and next week what happens with the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. I'm hoping as a Jets fan for a Jacksonville Jaguars win. Obviously, he's hoping for a Jaguars loss this week in order to ensure Trevor Lawrence is a Jacksonville Jaguar. But there's a lot on the line here with those games. And the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets have made tanking interesting this year.
Yeah, it's been a back and forth battle, and this is the two worst seasons in our franchise's histories. This is historically bad Jacksonville Jaguar defense. Once upon a time, only 3 short years ago, were they the best defense in football, and now they are a historically bad defense in a matter of 3 years. Really interesting to see how things can change over the course of 3 very short years. And Jacksonville picks up a first to Eifert on an out route. Mike Glennon dots up, who looks like, I think that's Robert Quinn on the tackle there. 1st and 10 for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On the Bears side, Austin, what are some things you're kind of, thinking about when it comes to the playoffs for them? Do you think that they'll get into the playoffs, or what's your thought really on them?
I think that they have an interesting route to the playoffs. Obviously, Ogunbowale for -1 on the catch. For the Chicago Bears, I think it really comes down to taking care of business here. You can't look too far ahead on the schedule. They do have Green Bay coming up. Obviously, that's a game they have circled on their calendar. Biggest game of the year for them. But, don't look past this Jags team. We saw what happened with the Rams. They were just looking too far ahead, and obviously they didn't take the Jets seriously. Not a lot of teams really have this year, but obviously they came out flat, and they just looked terrible in that game. But for Chicago, it's all about just staying focused on what's ahead of you. Ogunbowale, -3 on the run, -2 on the run. Now they got the Jacksonville Jaguars on a big 3rd and long. Chicago's looking good to start the game. Obviously, Akeem Hicks has had a good start here. He had a tackle for loss. Everybody in the chat, let us know. What are you watching? What are you seeing?
Really good pursuit there by Roquan Smith, too, on that. But, yeah, welcome to the chat.
Yeah, bear down. I like it. I like it, Gabriel. I'm bear down right now, too. I love watching the Bears, man. I really like this defense. One of the most exciting defenses in football, for sure. Mike Glennon completes to DJ Chark.
Past the 50 here, too.
Very surprising conversion for Jacksonville. That's not something we've seen all season. Great catch by DJ Chark. Did not let it hit the ground, but
go Jets. Yes, sir.
Go Jets. Yep, exactly. I really rooting for the Jets to get a W here today. I'm a little nervous how this game might turn out. I think that the Bears should handle this game very solidly, but you never know. Mike Glennon again. It's going to hand it off to Ogunbowale, who picks up a solid. Oh my goodness, where has this been all season?
Ogunbowale with an 18-yard rush here. Out of the gate, the Jacksonville Jaguars are moving the football quite well here on the Chicago Bears.
This is not something we were expecting to see happen. I'm very nervous.
We need to put AJ Cann at QB.
Great job by Tyler Shatley getting up the field and really springing this. Yeah, I don't want to end up with Winston or Newton. I cannot blame you.
Or even worse, Mitch comes back with Nagy. Yeah.
James Robinson is out. He is out for this game, so Ogunbowale is getting all of the carries at this point. He's looked really, really good so far.
Bounces another for 10. Just had his career-long gain of 18 yards. Now backs it up with a 10-yard carry for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Something kind of noteworthy for everybody watching. Obviously, the Jaguars struggle a ton in pass blocking, but run blocking this season, they've been very, very good and consistent throughout, considering James Robinson's humongous year. Yeah, I know. Good that he's out, but guys, Jacksonville's moving for some reason. I don't understand what is happening. 16th best offensive red zone team in the league. Shanat goes in motion. Get a 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Ogunbowale stuffed. Brent Urban on the tackle.
We're now at 2nd and 10 here from the 12-yard line. Do you think Jacksonville's going to punch this one in, Austin, or do you think they're going to settle for 3?
I think they're going to settle for 3 here, personally, but I think the Bears are going to close it up a little bit here. Yeah, I feel bad for James Robinson, too. It's just really unfortunate that he wasn't able to play. Obviously went to Illinois State. Yeah, 2nd and 9, guys. Mike Glennon play action. Finds Keelan Cole for a quick pickup of about 5. Yeah, let me know, guys, what's going on, guys.
R. Vega, welcome back to the stream. I was glad to have you in the NBA stream we had a couple days ago. Glad you're back for this one.
Yeah, this is big, guys. This is huge implications for both teams, obviously, the Jets and the Jags. Obviously, for the Bears as well. They have the playoffs on the line. You cannot drop this game, I can tell you that.
We got a 3rd and 5 here with Glennon out of the gun. Empty set.
We got trips to the left. Mike Glennon locates and incomplete to Tyler Eifert. Really big stop for the Chicago Bears. Absolutely needed to have that one. Roquan Smith on the jarring of the hit. Oh, maybe that. No, excuse me. That was not Roquan. That was Houston Carson.
Yeah, really good coverage there. Yep. And, the Bears, for those of you who are just coming into the stream, the Bears are playing for their playoff lives at this point. They have to get a win today. They would pass the Arizona Cardinals, and then they would control their own destiny to the playoffs. But if they do lose today, their path to the postseason gets quite a bit more difficult. You would need another Cardinals loss and a win in Week 17. So the Bears should be extremely motivated to come out of this game with a win. They're really playing for their playoff lives, so it's not likely to really see the Bears come out flat. You'd think the Bears are going to really put their best foot forward to try and get this one here, as we have the Jaguars take a 3-0 lead on that field goal.
Yeah, once again, everybody that's new coming into the stream, please let us know what you're seeing, what's going on, what games are you guys watching. This is a really big game in Jaguar history, the most important game in Jaguar history, besides obviously that AFC title game against New England. This is very critical to the franchise's future. So let us know what you're thinking, what you're hearing, what you're seeing. I think this is a really, really big game. Obviously, for just watching Red Zone, hey, I love it, man. Red Zone's so good. It's so fun to watch that, obviously.
How did Roquan not make the Pro Bowl? It's insane. He's a top 3 interior linebacker this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been really, really good. Really key piece of that Bears defense, obviously. I love that front seven that they have. So just phenomenal front seven. And obviously, I think Akeem Hicks is one of the most underrated players in the league. And obviously, Khalil Mack gets his respect. But I think we got to start appreciating some of the other guys on the defense as well.
Right, yeah, their defense is stacked with a whole bunch of playmakers and
right, just guys that are solid, consistent players. Right. Yeah, this is a really, really fun game to watch, actually, in terms of the implications. We have an eye on that Jets game, though. We have Cleveland that we're watching right now in terms of we're checking the bottom line on them. Cleveland was moving on the Jets again. They were on the Jets 40 last time we saw before the commercial break.
The biggest thing about this game is, some people, are telling us that you shouldn't cheer for your team to lose, and we totally get that. But at the same time, this is coming down to about possibly 12 to 15 years of difference for a franchise getting Trevor Lawrence pick number 1. It's going to be a huge difference. Think about the Indianapolis Colts getting Andrew Luck versus the Washington Redskins at the time getting Robert Griffin III. Obviously, the Redskins have had a lot of instability after that, and the Colts have been pretty stable since then. Obviously, Luck did retire a little early, but during his tenure there, they were, in and out, a week in, week out, really great team, a competitive team, and that's something that could really impact either the Jacksonville Jaguars or the New York Jets here.
Colts study, okay. Yeah, I get that about wanting to root for Phillip and the Colts. Obviously, they've put together a really, really good season, for sure.
He's developing well. Interesting. We get the kickoff here.
Rosas boots it out of the end zone.
Bears will be picking up at the 25 here.
So what Mitch Trubisky are we going to see today, guys? What are we going to see? He's played well, and so obviously Montgomery's played extremely well.
It's really going to come down to, looking at the Jaguars is they're gonna score some points today. Obviously, teams just go down and score. It's not like you could expect a shutout here, but the Bears are going to have to move the ball well today. They're going to have to take advantage of some of the weaknesses on this Jacksonville Jaguar defense. And, looking at it, it's quite a good situation for the Jacksonville Jaguars, actually, because you're facing a pretty quality team at this point of the season that has a lot to play for in today's game. And I think that's really going to motivate it. We have a neutral zone infraction here by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's going to move it to 1st and 5 here on the 30.
Cleveland down to the Jets 26. That is really key for the Jets if they can lose this one. This is very, very interesting.
Average Mitch, yeah. That's about right.
Montgomery picks up about 2 yards on the carry. Now they're going to be seeing a 2nd and 3. Yeah, big time implication here. 2nd and 3 for Mitch Trubisky and the Bears. Play action for Trubisky. Oh, That was an incompletion. Had Jimmy Graham. Very good coverage by Miles Jack. Draped all over Jimmy Graham.
Trubisky took his shot there over the top there. Did not get the completion. And we see ourselves now into 3rd and 3. Our Vega says, do you guys see the Jets taking Sewell if Darnold wins another game and they have the 2nd pick? Our Vega, we actually just did a Jets mock draft up on the channel. We will not spoil that for you, but I will say that is a real possibility that Sewell is a New York Jet after the draft is over this year. I think that's going to be something that the Jets will consider. You're looking at grabbing another franchise tackle. Obviously, they took Becton last year in the 1st round, and then this year coming back and grabbing Sewell. You'd have an elite left tackle, right tackle combination, not something a lot of teams can say. And I think that'd be really good for keeping Sam Darnold or whoever the next QB is upright moving forward. Awesome. Our Vega is going to go check that out. Awesome. Hope you guys enjoy it, and love to have you back once you are. Gabriel Egan says, I really think the Jets should take Sewell. Never trust an Ohio State QB in the top 5. LOL. Yes, there is some flaws in Justin Fields' game, but I think there's a lot of also positive traits for him. Austin, talk about Justin Fields a little bit and what you kind of see for him as the possible number 2 overall pick this year.
Yeah, Justin Fields, something he doesn't do super well against is obviously take pressure up the middle. With him being an athletic quarterback, you think he'd actually do a better job of that. But there's some flaws in his game, like you mentioned. He has what a lot of college QBs have issue with, and making deep progressions through his progressions. Actually, yeah, a lot of people think Fields is overrated, and I definitely get that. He does have some of the physical traits that you would like to see from a potential NFL prospect. Oh my, big catch and run for Allen Robinson. Huge play for Allen. Trubisky threw it a little low, and A-Rob went down and got it. So, yeah, talking about a little more about Fields, we threw on the tape last night against a very solid Indiana team. Watched that game again, and obviously I think that he could be considered overrated. If I'm a team, obviously I think that a team with a good foundation he could work for, but if he goes to Jacksonville or New York, I don't know the likelihood of him panning out, just considering that they're generally not a team that you want to go to develop quarterbacks. I mean, historically,
historically has been quite rough.
Right. I mean, if we look at the Jets and Jags history, like Joe Namath obviously was the Jets' best QB, and Jacksonville, it's been Mark Brunell. Yeah, no, I get that about him having to transfer. That's something that is a very, very fair thing. When he couldn't beat out Fromm, had to transfer, that does make me a little nervous as well. And the problem with Ohio State, a lot of one read things that they do there, one read throw, or one read take off and go. David Montgomery up the sideline. Josh Jones pushes him out though. Very good drive for Chicago.
Moving the ball quite well.
Down. Let's go.
Moving the ball quite well, obviously, through the air with former Jacksonville Jaguar Allen Robinson. Now we see a carry here from Montgomery, bursts up the seam and out the sideline, and gets a pretty good pickup there before being forced out. Awesome. You were just talking about the one-read quarterback, Justin Fields, and some of the issues that Ohio State's offense has with that for producing NFL quarterback play. What do you kind of attribute that to? And just let our viewers know kind of the importance of making multi-reads in a play.
Yeah, so obviously you want to see your quarterback be able to make multiple reads, because in the NFL it does not work with the quirky, one read thing. Obviously Ohio State does a ton of bubble screens. They do a lot of things where they scheme a guy open, and obviously they win a lot on the outside just due to their actual talent that they have at receiver. They're able to beat up on, even Big Ten teams, solid Big Ten teams. They're just so talented, great recruiting, obviously, but it's really important to see prospects be able to digest multiple reads. And real quick on the game update here, we have Caleb Levon Chase on making the tackle. But yeah, just for me, it's really important in evaluating a quarterback, seeing if they can make progressions, because at the NFL level, you are definitely going to need to be able to do that. David Montgomery's been on a roll. Yep. Jacksonville is winning right now, 3-0. Right now, Mitch Trubisky and the Bears are in the red zone. They have been moving the ball extremely well on this drive. It's really hard to, I guess, cheer against your team, Caleb on Chase. Touchdown, Chicago Bears. Jimmy Graham in the end zone.
Coming across the middle there, just finds an open pocket. Mitch Trubisky hits him in stride, and that'll be a touchdown. Chicago Bears, 5-yard reception there for Jimmy Graham on the score. 7th touchdown of the season for him. Yeah, a little angle route there for him.
Josh Jones gets completely tied up and completely fooled. So for the Bears fans in the chat, let me know who your favorite player on the Bears is. I'm kind of interested to hear that. Are you Khalil Mack fans or are you A-Rob fans? And the extra point is good by the Bears. 7-3 Chicago. Trubisky to Graham.
7-3 is our updated score. And there we are. We are now at a commercial break, obviously. Austin, about the NFL draft here, who are some of the other players that, maybe aren't going to be high-end first-round picks that you're pretty excited about this year?
Yeah, Kadarius Toney is a guy from the University of Florida that has not been getting enough credit for what he's been able to do in that offense. Big reason why Kyle Trask is having a ton of success is Kadarius Toney. So if you guys haven't seen Kadarius Toney, please go and watch him. He's phenomenal after the catch, extremely elusive, definitely a guy that you want to check out. I think that not enough people are talking about him as a prospect. And another prospect that doesn't get a lot of first-round love and consideration is Dylan Moses. Is obviously, he's a phenomenal athlete at the linebacker spot. Definitely a guy that could have been a first-round pick last year had he come out. But those are the two big key guys for me that are important to watch in this draft. And as the draft process goes on, I'm going to be finding more players that I obviously like outside the first round. So please check that out.
Gabriel Egan says his favorite players are Eddie Jackson and Roquan Smith on defense. Those are some pretty good choices there. Not a lot of teams have playmakers like those two. Our Vegas says he just checked out the Jets mock on our channel. If you guys haven't already, make sure to go do that. He totally agrees with the Sewell pick there. And he likes our analysis on that as well. Loves the stream reactions. Gabriel Egan also says really like Darnell Mooney's progress this rookie year as well.
Yes, Darnell Mooney. What a surprise, guys. I mean, he has been a phenomenal player this year for the Bears. Something that people weren't really expecting, obviously. I didn't really think that he was going to have this jump in his rookie year already. He's shown a ton to me that he can be a really good receiver in this league. And he's a good insurance policy if Allen Robinson ends up leaving. So very interesting to monitor that. Also, James Robinson is injured for the Jags. Yep, that is correct. He is injured. And right, I get the Khalil Mack thing. I think he's still a very good player in this league for sure. But I do get it.
Yeah, once you sign a huge contract like that, there's a lot more expectations, and just makes it a little bit harder for the team too once you're kind of dealing with the salary cap a little bit there and committing so much money to one player. Austin, looking at this Bears team as a whole, kind of what's your thing to watch for them moving forward, not only this year, but into the future as well?
Yeah, for Chicago Bears, it's all about the quarterback position. I think when you see at least average to slightly above average QB play for the Bears, they are a dangerous team. We have totally seen that. Clay Brooks brings it up to the 22-yard line for Jacksonville, and Mike Glennon and the Jags will get the ball. But for the Bears, I really like their future. I like what they have going on. Obviously, Roquan Smith is a big piece. You have Eddie Jackson, who's a big-time piece. Khalil Mack. But on offense, obviously, Mooney's a really fun and exciting guy. Cole Kmet's going to be, pretty nice tight end in the league. A lot to like about them. I'd like to see them address the offensive line as well. So
yeah, you could definitely use a tackle there. We've been seeing that in some of our mock drafts. If you guys haven't checked out our mock drafts or you're new to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. We did just hit 1,200 subscribers the other day, so thank you guys so much. We've grown extremely quickly. Now we see Laviska Shenault catch a little screen ball here and pick up 2 yards on the play. Austin, looking at Shenault, obviously a little bit of an up and down year for him as a rookie. Here, you attribute that to a lot of the QB struggles for the Jacksonville Jaguars, or what do you kind of make of him as a player at this point?
Yeah, so I think that there's two big reasons why he's had some struggles this year. For me personally, I think for one, it's definitely the quarterback play. We've had three quarterbacks rotating in and out for Jacksonville. We have Mike Glennon, Jake Luton, Gardner Minshew, and that's not a good trio to have. And not having, the same quarterback consistently on a week-to-week basis, it messes up timing. It messes up a lot of different things. You're not getting the same reps in practice with the first-team guys because, some weeks it's Mike Glennon, some weeks it's Luton, some weeks it's Gardner Minshew, and it's really hard to build continuity, quarterback to wide receiver relationship. So that's kind of the issue I have with that. But also looking at Laviska Shenault, he's also had injury issues this season. Hasn't been able to really consistently stay on the field. But I do think he will be a good receiver for Jacksonville, especially if they are able to land Trevor Lawrence in the draft. I think the development of Shenault is going to go through the roof if you're able to make that pick. Taking a look at it, happy 1-14 after this game. Yes, I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Mike Glennon on a 3rd and 4 delivers a nice ball to DJ Chark through the hands. There's going to be a punt for Jacksonville to Chicago.
Yeah, Sean Gibson made a really wonderful play on that coming from this over-the-top safety spot, put the hit on and disrupted that pass. Glennon obviously airing it out there, took a hit after the throw too. Laid one on Chark, a little high for him, but definitely a catchable ball, but a really good play by Deshaun Gibson there. Gabriel Egan, can someone logically explain the Robert Quinn contract to me? That right there makes me want Pace to be gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think Robert Quinn, basically ever since he left the Rams, has been an extremely overrated player. I don't agree with that contract as well. I totally get it with the whole Ryan Pace thing, and I don't understand why they made that move. Obviously, his stint with Dallas, he was not good in Dallas, but for Robert Quinn, I think that's extremely a bad contract at this point.
Our Vega here says, can't wait for tomorrow's mock.
Yes.
Awesome. That's our favorite thing to be putting out at the moment for you guys. So super glad you've been enjoying them. And I hope all of you in here get to enjoy it tomorrow as well. We are up to 12 people. Awesome to have you guys in here. Thanks for joining the stream. Jags got Lawrence. He says, let's lose this game, baby. I want it to be close, and then we lose by a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to cheer against your favorite team. Let me know in the comments if you're able to do that, because I have a hard time actually cheering against my own team, knowing for the betterment of my franchise, that's what makes sense to do. Obviously, I'm bear downing right now, so this is good.
No Kid here says Trevor will go farther with the Jags. That's something we were just actually kind of talking about a little bit with Shenault being here. Obviously, DJ Chark. You're looking at a team, and also James Robinson too in his emergence this year. You're looking at a team with a lot more, stable pieces at this point. Someone he's going to have, actual weapons to throw the ball to. Their offensive line's a little bit more solid than the New York Jets, despite the Jets having a franchise left tackle, something the Jaguars don't have. But, Chark's a really nice weapon. He's kind of a 1B type receiver for a team. Shenault, I think, has really good potential, especially after the catch. And James Robinson's really emerged as a Pro Bowl level running back this year. That's where his play's at. Obviously didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he should have really had some real consideration with his performance this year and his production. Austin, talk about Lawrence with the Jaguars, what that would kind of look like long term.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good. And for Jacksonville, obviously they do have the pieces around him. I think that Trevor Lawrence would have an easier time actually playing with Jacksonville rather than in New York. Obviously, the expectations in New York are sky high. He will be under a microscope constantly. But in Jacksonville, he's able to go to one of the smallest markets in the entire NFL and just do his thing, really be able to do him and not have the constant pressure. Obviously, from the own fan base, he would have that pressure. But as a whole, from the media, it wouldn't be nearly as bad playing in Jacksonville in terms of the expectations put on him. He's had expectations sky high his whole life, so I don't think that would actually be an issue. But for him personally, I think that landing in Jacksonville would be a really good situation. Just considering, like you laid out, Shenault and Jimmy Graham picks up a bunch of yards, obviously down to like the 36-yard line of Jacksonville. Taking a look at some of the other comments that we had, we are just friends. We are not related or anything like that. We've been buddies for a long time, love sports. Also looking at this, Yeah, I get it if you're a New York fan. I totally understand that. I'm so nervous, right? These last 2 weeks are really crucial for our franchise's direction for the next 10 to 15 years. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as fans. Uh, Winning isn't always the best thing, especially when you're this poor right now.
Gator X says, I love how when we won our first game, we thought we were actually good. Then went on a 13-game losing streak.
Isn't that crazy how the tides turn there, huh? What an emotional high and unexpected win against Indianapolis in week 1, and then we just really fell apart. And I think you would agree with me on this too. This defense is one of the worst I've ever seen, especially in Jags history. That has been brutal. Statistically, they have been one of the worst defenses of all time, actually.
Yeah, looking at Jacksonville too, that emotional win in week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, we saw CJ Henderson really ball out that game. He had what was his best game of the season and has continued to be his best game of the season at that point. Austin, looking at CJ Henderson long-term, what do you kind of expect out of him as a cover guy and some of his strengths and weaknesses that you've noticed?
Yeah, so for him, one of the big weaknesses that people had really laid out was his ability to tackle. I didn't see that as bad. He did a pretty good job as a whole this season, but I think he has really elite traits in terms of quickness and long speed. Definitely a guy that can man up on a player. Arguably the best man guy in this draft. Him and Jeff Okudah were close in that department, but I think he's going to be a really good man-to-man guy going forward. So I think that he should be a good corner, but obviously he's been hurt with that groin injury that sidelined him since I think week 10. Really big play by Darnell Mooney, picking up the first on a 3rd and 9 down to the Jacksonville 20. Yeah.
No kid asks, are you both Jacksonville fans? No, we are not. I do kind of like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of just cheer for each other's teams a little bit, but he's a Jaguars fan. I'm a New York Jets fan. Not the best combination here. So, no, I'm kind of cheering for a Jacksonville Jaguars win. I am rooting for that today, but I don't have my hopes up on that. Gator X says our backfield is so bad it hurts.
Yeah, for me personally, I like James Robinson. I'm not sure how you feel about that one, but obviously James Robinson 3rd in the NFL in rushing going into this week. But outside, if you're referring to just who's in right now, I do understand that because it's Daryl Gunwale, it's guys like Chris Thompson filtering in and out. But yeah, so that's kind of what we got going on. Yeah, this is really really true, man. Oh, sorry. What a great duo. Yes, it is. Obviously, we've had so many struggles watching our teams this year. I've watched every Jags game, and it's been extremely tough for me. But the safeties, yeah, yes, thank you, people. There's not enough people talking about how bad our safeties are. Wow, are they bad? Jared Wilson, brutal. Wingard, brutal. It sucks that we had to trade Ronnie Harrison. I mean, we didn't have to, but we were able to pick up a 5th-round pick in that. That was this secondary's been brutal this year, especially the safety spot. That's the worst safety tandem I've ever seen.
Yeah, like you're looking at, and the issue too is there's so much pressure on them. The front 7 hasn't been phenomenal this year. They have to go out and make plays, and just quite frankly, they don't have the talent there that they need. And an update here from Jacksonville. This game is in Jacksonville, and some of the players or some of the fans actually are at the game. Obviously, with Florida law that they're allowed to be there. And when the Chicago Bears scored, some Jacksonville Jaguars fans did cheer in the stands during the game. So that's something pretty funny to monitor. Gator X said, don't even do the 5th-round pick thing. We traded Campbell for a 5th.
I know. That was frustrating to watch. Calais Campbell traded for a 5th-round pick. That was really brutal, actually. But to be honest, I don't know if there was a huge market considering his age. I think he's a really, really good player, but obviously, we did not leverage that trade correctly. I wish we would have been able to move Fournette. I think you might have felt the same way. Wish you could have moved him actually for a draft asset rather than cutting him. I think they waited around too long until they started engaging in trade talks. But
Jags got Lawrence says, has Henderson been good? I can't really tell. Austin, walk us through that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of inconsistencies. Don't get me wrong, but I think he has the skill set in order to become a good corner. There's a lot of corners that are 1st-round guys that struggle in the first year. We've seen it with Jeff Okudah this year, another guy that was supposed to be, the sure prospect, but he has had a lot of ups and downs too. I'm not worried about CJ Henderson. I'm not gonna jump on that train and say he's a bust, but he's had some struggles up and down. Another guy that for the Jags, another young player that has played pretty well One-handed catch by Mooney that was out of bounds, but also something to
We do have a flag as well.
We do have a flag, so we'll have to see if that's PI on the defense. Mooney, great catch. Let's take a look here at the next comment. You guys see the Jags getting a safety with their late first or second round pick. Interesting that you bring that up. I've had some interesting things happen with our mock drafts. I don't know how much people have been tuning into those, but for Jacksonville, I could see that, but I'm not sure if that's the direction they'll go. There's not a ton of great safeties in this draft. Javon Holland's a safety that's pretty interesting. LeCount III's another guy. Micro Mike, welcome to the stream. We are rooting for an L here.
Yes, we are. We are hoping the Jaguars do not pull this one out against the Chicago Bears. At least he is. I am hoping for the Jaguars to have the best day of their entire franchise.
Yep.
But the Bears are down in the red zone here now, so it's very unlikely that we see that.
Please check out Micro Mike. Great guy on YouTube. Phenomenal what he does. He's really able to present the game in a different way. Really unique voice as well. Just awesome. Yeah, exactly. I agree. You know, I will probably turn it up so that you guys can actually hear the game audio. I do appreciate the suggestion there. You guys let us know in the comments if you can hear the game audio. Once again, thank you, Micro Mike, for that suggestion. You're the man.
Imagine if the Rams lose last two games and we get like the 20th pick as well. That is something that I was pretty upset about as a Jets fan. So me and Austin here have been jockeying kind of for draft position. And not only did beating the Rams hurt our own pick, but it also helped Austin's and the Jaguars pick their second first-round pick, obviously, and it helped move it above where the Seattle Seahawks are picking at this point. So it kind of really hurt the Jacksonville or the New York Jets in a lot of ways, actually winning that game outside of just Trevor Lawrence.
Right. Yeah, let me pull up here. Joined my first Dynasty League this season, 14 teams, drafted Josh Jacobs, Saquon. Purposely did not take a QB in hopes of sucking this season. Secured Trevor Lawrence. No way. That's kind of interesting, actually. We've been looking to do a Dynasty League for a while. We tried to do a 16-team league, and that didn't work out. A lot of people quit out on it, but I totally get that. That's kind of funny how you actually tanked in a Dynasty League. That's hilarious. Secured the big with Trevor Lawrence, man. That's a fact, Micro Mike. You already know it, man. This is really good stuff by Micro Mike. Check out his channel. Phenomenal dude. Subscribe to his channel. Give him lots of love. Great Lions fan. Very passionate about his team regardless. Right, Micro Mike? Got to stick through this.
No Kid says, I still think Darnold can go far with the Jets. You know, I hope so. I wasn't high on him before we took him. I wasn't high on him once we took him, and I wasn't high on him after we took him. I just think I don't know. He turns the ball over too much. He's inconsistent as a thrower. I think his decision-making is a real question mark, really. And, yes, the Jets haven't given him a lot to work with. But, we see some of the better players elevate the guys around them. And, Darnold, quite frankly, hasn't done that a lot.
Real quick, Jets Tutty. That's big. That's really big.
Let's try and pull
Yeah,
up.
exactly, Micro Mike, man. It's still fans no matter what. No matter what. Micro Mike, let me know how you're feeling about everything Lions related right now. That was a tough loss to watch yesterday. Ooh. That was tough. Who scored that Jets tutty? Braxton Berrios, 43-yard touchdown reception from Jamison Crowder. Incomplete.
Maybe Jamison Crowder's the future at QB, guys.
What is a bomb by Sam Darnold? Interesting. Micro Mike, screen share, and you can post Gamecast on the side. So are we able to do kind of a column rather than it taking up a big portion of the screen? I'm kind of interested. I can pull up that Gamecast
pull
quick.
that up quick. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, missed opportunity by Chicago there. They could have taken a commanding lead, but they are now going to settle with the field goal.
Kicking right from their 2-yard line. This is a 20-yard field goal attempt. And it is good. The Chicago Bears secure a 10-3 lead now over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars fans, you can hear them cheering yet again in the stadium as the rival, or not the rival, but the visiting Chicago Bears score.
Yeah, exactly. Win probability for Chicago. We are going to try to do some screen sharing here. Oh, okay. I like this. I do like this. By, do you guys ever see yourself doing film reviews on certain players? Yes, of course. I am really interested in doing that. Once the season's all settled down, we have all the film of the players that we need. Absolutely. Micro Mike, we need draft position. Absolutely. That was a tough showing for sure.
Yeah, we definitely do see ourselves doing that too a bit. We did a little bit of that with the NBA draft. We were just starting out our channel when that kind of came around. But that's something that we, individually focus on quite a bit. We both write a big, scouting report for the NBA and the NFL. So that's something we're definitely going to be doing and posting on the channel if that's something you're interested in.
Yep, absolutely, Micro Mike. You're live right now. That's so funny. You're able to multitask like that. That's good.
Okay, so let's get the share screen going here.
I'll pull that up real quick.
Oh, no.
We have to pull that off. Appreciate you, Micro Mike. You've been awesome support staff for us. We really do appreciate that. I'm so happy that you're growing as well, man. It's been crazy. To see your growth has just been awesome. Favorite guy on YouTube right here. Got to just be able to get that screen share working. I wonder here, let me pull a separate window out. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're able to, thank you. That actually really makes me feel good that our mocks have been worth it for you. To be honest, I'm so glad that you're subscribed and everything. And just getting that out it's really important for me to educate people. Obviously, I want to do the best that I can to educate the people that have been, loyal to us. And I put a lot of work into what I do. So I really, really promising to see that. So Chicago had made it a 10-point game. Caro Santos, second most field goals made in Chicago Bear history. Let me go ahead and try to get that screen share working so you guys can see the game cast. Click the screen icon. All right, so we're going to try that screen share again one more time, but let us know. All right, big game here.
Yours is doing something different than mine was last time. Let's see if we can get this to work here, though.
I'll just get talking about the game right now. We got 1st and 10 for Jacksonville from the 30. Daryl Ogunbowale up to the 38-yard line. Chicago has been able to move the ball, and Jacksonville actually has moved the ball okay. Little game update from Pittsburgh. James Conner punches it in 7-7 in a crucial jockeying for playoff position game.
Understand quite what's working.
Yep. Biggest upset. Yeah, really interesting to see if Darnold can win that game. Does he secure his future there with the Jets? Really interesting proposition. I guess we'll have to see. Cleveland obviously wants to win this game really bad, jockeying for playoff position, and they're going to be trying their hardest to get a W here today. Mike Glennon is able to stick in there and deliver a really nice pass to DJ Chark.
If Jets win, do they take Penei Sewell? We did just put a Jets mock draft out there, but the short answer there is probably. That's kind of who I would want the Jets to go with. Obviously, some people would still see Justin Fields going there. And I don't know. It's interesting to me because I'm not a huge Sam Darnold guy myself, but also looking at Justin Fields, you can't just assume that he's going to come in and fix a lot of the issues. He's shown some real weaknesses the last few weeks in college football season. Now, maybe in the college football playoffs, if he ramps it up in the game against Clemson, You could possibly see him, kind of solidify that draft status. But at this point, I think there's a little bit too much questions for me to really roll with him as the pick at 2 while we have Sam Darnold still. Let's see here if we can get this.
Yeah, so right now Jacksonville's almost in midfield. Mike Glenn has been moving the ball well. It's Keelan Cole up the middle all the way to the Bears 40. So really, really big pickup there. I do get the want for Wilson over Fields. Micro Mike, who do you think is going to be there for your selection, man? Let us know. Let us know who you want with your pick. I have a feeling it's going to be quarterback from you.
And if you guys haven't, make sure to go hit that subscribe button for Micro Mike. Really great YouTuber, a good friend of ours. Super happy to work with him. We've been on a stream of his before. We'll probably have him on a stream of ours at some point, hopefully, in the near future as the Jacksonville Jaguars here run for a gain of 0.
Trey Lance or Justin Fields? Yeah, I totally get that. And I think Trey Lance will be there for sure for your pick. And, maybe you have to trade up. I'm really interested to see what the Lions would do under the new management in terms of what they're going to do with Stafford. So
anytime. Awesome. We'd definitely love to have you on at some point here in the near future. Maybe talk some NFL draft and possibly just look at the league as a whole. That'd be awesome, Micro Mike.
Mike Lennon steps back to throw, finds Chris Conley for a big pickup. Pretty close to the first down marker. They are moving the chains. That is a first down Jacksonville. So if you're a Jacksonville fan, you are not a fan of what you're seeing actually. They have made this very close. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Micro Mike definitely saw that one. I know he did.
Awesome. Yeah, the Lions did not really put their best foot forward against Tampa Bay. And quite frankly, a fun talking point here, Austin. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did clinch a playoff berth this week with their win over the Detroit Lions. And the New England Patriots obviously are out of playoff contention. Looking at, the difference there between the Patriots season without Brady compared to the Bucs season with Brady, kind of break down your thoughts on that. Obviously, we had seen and heard many people saying that Brady's a system QB. Kind of what's your thought on that?
Thanks, Micro Mike. You have a good one, man. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, going back to Tampa Bay, really good season so far, actually. A lot of people have been really critiquing Tom Brady for what he's done. And honestly, Tampa Bay looks really good still. Obviously, that was a huge win against a decent Lions team. They're not great by any means. Jets again driving on the Browns.
Let me pull that game cast up real quick as well.
This is crazy, guys. This is madness. If the Jets win and the Jags lose, the Jaguars secure the number 1 selection today. So hopefully, as a Jags fan, I do want that scenario to play out, but I guess we'll have to see.
Jamison Crowder just did throw the ball again, this time incomplete, though. He has now thrown the ball twice today. If that answers any questions about how they feel about Sam Darnold, which it might, it doesn't look good for the New York Jets, quite frankly, and Sam Darnold's future there. Obviously, he's been up and down for the early part of his career. Hasn't had a lot to work with, but, usually when you're a top 3 pick, you don't. So,
right, exactly. Everybody in the stream, Bears fans, I want to see you back in the chat. What's going on? How are you feeling right now? Because I'm a little nervous. Bear down, guys. Let's go.
Oh, right on the edge of the red zone here now. We do have Mike Glennon in the gun. Single back next to him and
almost picked off by, was that Gibson?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Gibson's been really covering the middle of the field well today. There he was targeting Tyler Eifert. Gibson went and made a play on the football, almost came down with it, and now it'll be 2nd and 10 here.
So to answer your question here, where do you think Minshew will end up? In a trade, I could see them leveraging a trade where they end up picking up a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Obviously, he could stay and be the backup, but at this point, I'm not exactly sure where he'll end up. Let's kind of think about where he could possibly end up. I see Indianapolis as a possibility. I see New England as a possibility. There's a couple of teams that it just makes sense. Oh, my.
Jay Chark with an insane catch. Oh my gosh.
Touchdown Jacksonville. What is happening in this game? I don't know. I'm a little crabby about it. Obviously, this season, we have not seen any of this. Of course this is going to happen.
One insane catch by Chark. Let's make sure he's in. 1 and 2 both down and secures it all the way through. An incredible play by DJ Chark over Vilder. Oh my goodness. Really good throw by Mike Glennon there too. 5th touchdown of the season for DJ Chark. Wow. Our Vegas says DJ Chark, OMG. Yeah, OMG is right. That's maybe going to be the best catch of DJ Chark's career. And it comes right at the perfect time for a New York Jets fan like myself. Now back to where you think Minshew is going to end up. You know, I could see maybe Indianapolis rolling, a later pick in there if they don't really find a way to manage a Sam Darnold or Jimmy Garoppolo acquisition. I think that can make some sense to kind of buy them some time long-term to figure out that quarterback spot. How about you, Austin? What other teams?
Yeah, like Indy's my big one. New England is the other one I had in mind. Thinking around the league depends on what happens with Matt Ryan. I think that'd be something to monitor. I don't think that they'll move on from Matt Ryan right now, but maybe. Man, Minshew to Chicago. If Chicago makes the playoffs and they don't, they're not in range for one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, I love the fit. I'm going to be honest. I'd love the fit for Minshew in Chicago if that's the truth. So we'll have to see that. I definitely, obviously, Chicago has been able to work out trades with Jacksonville. So
Gabriel Egan also says, what is happening? Mike Glennon looking like Aaron Rodgers right now. That was an absolutely beautiful throw and a beautiful catch by DJ Chark. Jags got Lawrence says, bro, we need to lose.
I know.
Yes, as a Jags fan, for him, he's probably, praying for a loss. I'm a Jets fan. I'm kind of hoping you guys pull this one out. I wouldn't be too mad about that. No Kid says, I think Minshew will end up with Atlanta because Ryan's season is almost over. In his career, he is quite a bit older. That could be something to watch, as Austin had just said here. Our Vegas says Browns losing to the Jets would be the most Browns thing ever. It would be, and it would also be the most Jets thing ever. We'd find a way to screw up our pick even more. Let me pull that game back up real quick.
I'm stressed out, guys. I'm really stressed out.
Score. Let me update the score here too for you guys.
How do you handle a musical project?
We got 10-10 here now is the score, and the Jets did score.
Must have missed the extra point.
Yep, missed extra point by Brandon Mann. It was blocked actually by Sheldon Richardson. Chris Herndon did catch an 11-yard touchdown pass from Sam Darnold, though. Jets are up 13-3 at this point over the Browns. So you're looking at, another round of implications here, basically. Kind of gives the Jaguars a little bit of room to breathe at this point. If the Jaguars do lose today and the Jets win, the Jets will be picking at the highest second overall. That would guarantee a Jaguars first overall selection if those two things do happen. Let's go back to the comments here. Our Vegas has imagined both the Jags and Jets win. LOL, the agony for both teams would be hilarious. It would be quite hilarious. We did have some videos come out last week about the Jets and Jaguars. Obviously, we're both fans of those individual teams, and it does not work out too well. Our Vega, please don't put that evil into my Bears. LOL. That's funny. That's really, really funny. Honestly, the Bears need to win this game too. They've got a lot on the line with their playoff implications. If they win, they can control their own destiny. They would be seated above the Arizona Cardinals and would just need to win out to secure their playoff spot. If they do lose today, they would need another Cardinals loss and a win in Week 17 for themselves to get into the playoffs. Trubisky was stripped momentarily. Does look like he got it back, though, however. It will be second and about 12 yards here now. No Kids asked, what teams do you think will make the Super Bowl? To me, I feel very confident about the AFC team that I'm going to choose in the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sure Austin feels that way as well. And looking at the NFC, I think that one's a little bit more difficult. You have two really good teams in the Saints and Packers that you could really consider for that. I don't know. Who do you like out of the NFC, Austin?
Yeah, I really like what Green Bay has been able to do. Aaron Rodgers is playing arguably the best football in his career at the moment. So, let's take a look at
Red Thunder says,
Welcome
hello, I'm
back.
back. Welcome back. Glad to have you back in here, Red Thunder. R. Vega says, Sundays go by slow when your favorite team hasn't played yet and you're out of the fantasy playoffs. Yeah, it's like Christmas morning, to be honest. You're just waiting to open presents. Sundays, when your team isn't playing quite yet, it does get a little bit boring as you're just waiting for the game. Austin is so nervous, he says. Yes, he is.
Nervous.
It's quite enjoyable for me to watch. And the Falcons do score as well on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's 7-0 there in Kansas City. The score here is on the bottom line. It is 10-10. Red Thunder. Bears are about to punt the ball over to Keelan Cole. He is the return man here for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I know it's been very brutal, actually. Last week I had to witness an absolute crushing by Baltimore that they put on us, and then now I'm sitting through this, and man, this has been bad. Okay, very good punt. Shout out to Chicago here. Beautiful punt.
Pin him inside the 20 here. Got a really good Chicago bounce.
16-yard line.
No Kid says, no worries. Every team can make a comeback against Atlanta. That is true. Gabe Egan says, I'm equally nervous. This is your top pick and my playoff hopes all in one game.
We got to bear down, don't we? We're in this together. I want you guys to absolutely just steamroll us. Please. Please. And that's really want Doug Marrone fired. That's a way to do it. Just steamroll us. Please. We've given up 30 points in almost every single game this season.
Jacksonville stats, touchdowns, big plays. Really, really big play. Mike Glennon, delivered a beautiful ball for a 20-yard touchdown to DJ Chark, who made an absolutely wonderful catch, basically mossed the cornerback in the end zone. Jags got Lawrence says, bro, why are the Jags actually going to win? The Bears suck.
I think the Bears are a good team, but, man, I wish they didn't come out as flat. Man, it's really unfortunate for Jags fans. You're so nervous about this game, and as I am, I really am. It's really tough.
The one thing, too, about it is, yes, the franchise probably wants to lose. The Jags, president of football operations, all that, they don't want to win this game, essentially. The people in the front office, they want to get a shot at Trevor Lawrence. But you can't say the same thing for all the people down on the field. The head coach wants to win. Doug Marrone wants to win. All of the players want to win. There's no reason you go into a game as a player thinking about your selection next year. You want to win the game. So you can't really be mad at the players, too, for coming out and performing. Red Thunder says he's wearing a Chark jersey. That's an awesome jersey to have. DJ Chark's one of my favorite receivers to watch in the NFL. I think Casey will go to the Super Bowl, but I'm watching the Bills and see how far they can go. They have looked very good this year.
Bills are a good team.
Awesome. Looking at the Bills, obviously Josh Allen's kind of emerged as a real Pro Bowl level quarterback this year. Walk us through some of his progression, what you think about him, and everything that he kind of offers at that quarterback position.
Obviously, he's a guy that's able to run with the football. When things are not there, he's able to take off and go. But he's really developed as a passer out of the play action, just dropping back on a 3-step drop. A lot of things that you like to see. Obviously, he has a rocket for an arm, so that's been obviously a nice luxury for him. But the big thing for him was he's an accurate quarterback right now, and for Buffalo, adding Stephon Diggs was absolutely huge and game-changing. That really aided the development of Josh Allen.
Gabriel Egan says, how do I clip him saying, please just destroy us for future use?
It's going to continue because we're going to blow this first overall pick.
R. Vega, as a Chargers fan, he says, I'm so conflicted because I want Herbert to have a great game and I want Herbert to have a great game and win for Offensive Rookie of the Year, argument's sake. But obviously falling out of the top 10 in draft order would absolutely suck, especially since there's no shot we make the playoffs. About that with the Chargers, the thing is you guys are in a position where, maybe dropping from 9 to, maybe like 12 isn't that bad of a situation, really. There's going to be other teams that are winning and losing, too, that's going to, shuffle a draft position a bit. And, quite frankly, you want to see your team play well. You guys are more at a position where, you don't need the number 1 pick. You don't need a number 2 pick. So winning and losing isn't as big of a deal for you guys at this point. So definitely cheering for a win makes a lot of sense. At least the Jets are going to win. Yes, they are up 13-3 at this point.
Hopefully. I really, really hope that they win this game. Also, some comments I want to go over for Jacksonville fans is, what should we do with their offensive line? Man, let's go left to right. Cam Robinson at the left tackle spot, I definitely think there needs to be change there. I just don't think he's offered enough consistency. Andrew Norwell should be cut, and we would save a ton of money on his deal. Brandon Linder is a center that's going to stick around. I think he's going to be lifelong Jag. AJ Can at the right guard spot, or whoever will be playing the right guard spot, it's going to be interesting. We have Ben Barch, fourth-round pick out of St. John's. Definitely a guy that I think is going to be around. And then at the right tackle spot, we have Juwan Taylor, who's he's been inconsistent this season, but I think he's going to stick around considering his second-round pedigree. Taking a look at the line as a whole, you really want to move on from Norwell's contract. Huge contract, one of the top-paid guards in the league, and obviously he doesn't play like it.
Yeah, you're looking at a team that, with their late first-round pick that they have from the LA Rams at this point, you could be looking
down. Hold on. Bear down. Fourth down. Roquan Smith on the tackle. Let's go, Bears. Come on.
And you could be looking at a team that's able to address that tackle position, maybe Samuel Cosme, maybe a few other offensive linemen in the draft, maybe one of those kids out of Northwestern. That would be something to watch, in my opinion. We do have a fake punt here and a first down for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They moved the sticks. Austin is not happy about that. There is a flag on the play, though. This could be coming back.
Bear down.
Holding offense. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no.
The emotional highs and lows in this game is going to be incredible.
Oh, man. So for those of you who are a little unsure or maybe are new to our channel, I'm a Jets fan. He's a Jags fan. I'm cheering for the Jags to win because I want the Jets to get the first pick. He's cheering for the Jags to lose to get the first pick. And that fake punt really had me excited, but now we're probably going to see a real punt here. Boots it.
Dustin Colquitt with the punt.
And a fair catch by,
I think it's Carter.
Carter, yep, down at the 32-yard line or so. Gabriel Egan says, wow. Yeah, Bears fan got a little bit bailed out there with a holding penalty. Real surprise call there by Doug Marone. You can see he's going all out to try and win this game.
He's trying to save his own job. That's the part of the problem here for us Jags fans is we don't want him back. I'm sorry. I don't want him back. Yeah, amazing. For real, dude. Actually, crazy.
Austin, also looking at some of that, the coaching carousel, and as we turn our eyes to the New York Jets with Adam Gase, if he finishes this game beating the Cleveland Browns and ends the season maybe winning 2 of the last 3 games, is there a shot that he does come back as the New York Jets head coach, despite many hoping he does not, including myself?
And the problem is for Jets fans is you don't want Adam Gase back, but there's a possibility. He was the one that actually made the suggestion to the front office as a whole and the ownership group that said, I think that Joe Douglas would be a really good GM, right? So that's basically his best friend. They've been friends for a long time. And is Joe Douglas actually going to fire Gase? I don't know. I really don't know. Should he actually? Absolutely. He should have been gone week 3. He shouldn't be here in the first place. But looking at some of the options that the Jets have and the Jags have with their head coaching slots, Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City. We've seen Joe Brady as a big candidate. We've seen Robert Saleh. There's a lot of really good coaching candidates. We have some of the college guys, too, that you can consider in this, like Lincoln Riley's an option. Urban Meyer expressed some interest in going to the NFL. So really a lot going on, obviously.
Austin, looking at kind of the Jets' direction as well, as long as we're talking about them, what do you think some of their needs are when it comes to free agency that they could address possibly, or, looking at the draft as a whole too?
Somebody I want the Jets to take a look at is Allen Robinson. Obviously, I think he would be a phenomenal fit for that franchise. And if you're the Jets, then you don't have to take a guy in that second round or end of the first round at receiver. You can wait a little bit, take another receiver later on because you have Denzel Mims. And if you add Allen Robinson to it, that's definitely something that you have to monitor moving forward. Man, tough deal here. So many emotional highs and lows from this. There's a lot of great O-linemen in this class. And, yep. A lot of those guys are great options. Seriously, absolutely. I'm glad that you've been watching the mocks. It's great that you have all this knowledge of these linemen too. It's really, really good to see that you're able to rattle these all off. And a lot of good options at the end of the first round, early second round. Definitely could see Jacksonville moving that direction, or especially for the Chargers too. I definitely think that the Chargers have to address that tackle position for sure. Absolutely. A lot of solid options like you claimed. The last time the Bills won the division, Josh Allen wasn't even born. That's a fact. Absolutely. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Also, if you guys are interested, I just did put the links to the socials in the description. If you guys refresh, there will be a link to our TikTok. Austin makes quite a few videos about the NFL in there if that's something you're interested in watching and hitting that follow button there. We also have our Instagram and Twitter in there. And also, we do have a merch line actually that we just got out. I would recommend buying the black ones if you are looking at them. Those are the ones that are optimized for our logo at this point. And you can just take a look. Obviously, no pressure to buy one, but it would be awesome if you guys did.
Yeah, rep that utility sports gear.
Our Vega says he got him educated in the NFL draft. That's awesome.
I'm glad. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the content that we have out. So just makes it worth it all the time, spending studying. I mean, studying offensive line film, it's not the most exciting thing to do, but I want to make sure people are educated.
You get a screen here to Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney for the first. Big pickup for Chicago.
Yep, gain of 12 there. A nice lead blocking out by the other receivers in the trips formation. And you see the Bears starting to move the ball here again as well.
Something I do want to say, if you know some people that do enjoy NFL content, please send them our way. Seriously, I can't stress it enough how important it is to build a foundation of followers and people that watch our content. So,
No Kid says, what a game Alvin Kamara had on Friday against the Vikings. Yeah, 6 touchdowns. And the crazy thing is he maybe could have had 7 as well. You're looking at when Taysom Hill ran that 1 touchdown in on the goal line, they could have maybe given that to Kamara earlier in the game. He could have had 7, which would have been an NFL record. Still did tie an NFL record, though, with his 6. And it's been quite a magnificent performance for him this year. Is the league leader in rushing touchdowns now, and obviously showing the Saints that he was worth that contract extension he got. Also, we just had a game break, and the Indianapolis Colts are up 21-7 on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers obviously have been playing perfectly through the start of the season, Austin. Now they've are in danger of losing their 3rd straight game at this point. What do you kind of think about the Steelers, especially when you look at what could happen to them come playoff time?
I think the first thing we need to talk about when it comes to the Steelers is that they got in their own head. I really think that they were coasting in that Washington game, and then it became a tumble effect for Pittsburgh. Obviously, Juju has had a lot of bad press lately for dancing on teams' logos. Obviously, I don't think that's the biggest deal, but I think they just got in their own heads, and then they, once you get in a funk, it's hard to break out of it. Especially after you had so much success early, then you start pressing, then you start doing things that that got you there that you just don't do anymore. So that's part of the issue as well.
With the loss to Indianapolis, they could fall a little bit in the standings. At 11-3 right now, they'd be in danger of falling to 11-4. The Colts would also be 11-4 at that point. Obviously, they're jockeying with the Tennessee Titans for that division there in the AFC South. Austin, what do you think about the Jaguars division as a whole? What it kind of looks like for the next few years in the AFC South?
Darnell Mooney with the big play, big first down for Chicago, bear down. That division in the AFC South, I think it's going to look interesting. Especially the Colts are going to stick around, really good foundation roster-wise, especially defensively. Looking at the Texans, if you have Deshaun Watson, most likely you're going to have a chance. So that's something to monitor as well as that head coaching search and GM search as well. Taking a look at Tennessee, really solid team. Mike Vrabel, a pretty good head coach, probably you could argue top 10 in the NFL. So that division as a whole is looking pretty good. And if Jacksonville, who's been the bottom feeder of this division the last couple of years now, they move into a position with Trevor Lawrence where they can compete for a division title eventually.
Yeah, you're looking at a really kind of deep division then at that point. Obviously, Deshaun Watson kind of elevates the Texans, like you were saying. The Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts are really well-built teams, really filled out rosters. And obviously with the Jaguars possibly getting Trevor Lawrence this year, you're looking at a much improved organization as well. Going back into the comments here, 10-point lead for the Jets. Yep, they are up 13-3 at this point.
The Jets have the ball, don't they?
Let me check that again real quick. Make sure we're staying up to date on that.
Once again, everybody that's new in the chat or new to watching the stream here, let us know in the comments. Favorite team, favorite player, anything else about your team that you'd like us to know. I just want to hear from you guys what you think of the season and anything else that you have. Interested to hear it.
Gabriel Egan says, why are the Bears
I know.
back to not running the ball? I'm going to lose my mind here. Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling, honestly.
Jacksonville's arguably the worst rush defense in the entire league. So they should be pounding David Montgomery right now.
The Jets do have the ball, but it is just now 4th and 1. It was a 3rd and 1. Sam Darnold passing complete to his short right side of the field. And it looks like they will punt right at midfield. However, there is 5 minutes left in the half there, so the Cleveland Browns could put some points up before halftime yet in that game. There's something to monitor there going forward. Yeah, let us know down in the comments below, like Austin was saying, what your favorite team is, who some of your favorite players are, both for your own team and other teams. You know, like for me, Patrick Mahomes is a really fun guy to watch. Obviously, the media kind of shoves him down our throats a little bit too much, but he's a fun guy to watch. Lamar Jackson's really fun to watch. Deshaun Watson, I know that's a personal favorite of yours, Austin, to watch on Sundays. So yeah, just let us know down in the comments who you like to watch, who you really enjoy, even if it's not for your favorite team.
This is a big drive for Chicago, being able to put points on the board before halftime. Obviously, they have come out rather flat, especially offensively. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'm very frustrated watching this game as a Jags fan. 1st and 10 for Chicago. Just got done with the 2-minute warning as well.
Out of the gun here for Trubisky. Pass short left and a first down.
First down
to Allen Robinson, the former Jaguar, having a pretty solid day today. And a really good season, actually, too. Kind of silenced some of his haters. He is in a contract year. Obviously, had that drama earlier with the Chicago Bears. Where do you see him kind of possibly ending, Austin?
Well, we got a false start here on Chicago. That's going to really hurt the starting field position for them. For Allen Robinson, there's a lot of teams that could use his services. Obviously, bad teams like Jacksonville and the New York Jets could use his services, but looking at some of the contenders, I think Cincinnati would be in on that. Sorry, they're not a contender. I did not mean to say that, but Cincinnati could use his services for sure. AJ Green will be out. Insert Allen Robinson. I love that. You got to have guys to throw to if you're Cincinnati, and then you don't have to use a draft pick on it. So that's one of the big things for bad teams is being able to fill other holes, and if you can address it in free agency with all the money that you have, which a lot of teams do have a lot of cap this season, obviously that's the route you probably want to go.
We have a 1st and 15 here now after that false start. Right around midfield here on the Jaguars' 47-yard line, it looks like. And let's go back to the Browns-Jets game, see what's going on there. It is 2nd and 9 on Cleveland's 21, so they have quite a bit of ways to go yet. 4 minutes left in the half.
Something to note here, Cincinnati is up on Houston. That's kind of surprising. Brandon Allen having a good day statistically. Oh, Mr. Trubisky incomplete to Darnell Mooney. Jared Wilson was there on the coverage. 2nd and 15 for Chicago. Really poor false start. I don't like that. Let's take a look at what Red Thunder's got to say. Top 3 favorite players in the Jags: Chark, Jack, Josh Allen, Smoot. Yep, exactly. He is getting some credit finally. Well-deserving credit. He's a hard-working player. Guy that's relentless on the pass rush no matter what point in the game.
Yeah, I'm very upset about Josh Allen. As a Jets fan, when we had the 3rd pick that year, that is who I wanted at that selection. The Jets have badly needed an edge. Of course, we passed on him, took Quinnen Williams. And Quinnen Williams, he's an all-right player, but I think Josh Allen has the higher ceiling moving forward. No Kid's a fan of the New Orleans Saints, says, I like Breeze and Le'Veon Bell. If I had to pick a player from a while back, then Kurt Warner. Those are some pretty good selections. Obviously, Breeze is a fun player to watch, a really good passer of the football, has been widely successful in his career. Le'Veon Bell, I was very sad when the Jets cut him. I do have a Le'Veon Bell jersey of the New York Jets, and for the Jets, it's just kind of been a tough little stretch here for me. My favorite players, Jamal Adams got traded, Le'Veon Bell got released. And just quite frankly, we just don't have a lot of stability right now. Obviously, Joe Douglas is going to come in and make some moves to try and improve this roster, but at this point, it's been a little rough as a New York Jets fan.
And once again, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We post a lot of NFL content, and I think quite a few of the people that are in this stream are already subscribed. So shout out to all of you guys that are. Love having the loyal support. I'm glad to have you on the stream here today.
Got 45 seconds left in the half here with the Chicago Bears driving the football. Austin, what's been your biggest takeaway so far of the game today that we've seen?
Something that Jacksonville's done right now that they haven't been able to do all season is keep things in front of them. Too many big plays that they've given up on the year, but they've been able to keep every pass play right in front of them. Safeties have not overcommitted and took poor angles, so that's probably my biggest takeaway. How much you both? That's Red Thunder. I do really like that question, Sheldon. If you don't mind looking that up
let me
right
pull
now.
that up.
I know Jacksonville's number one in salary cap potential. Mitch Trubisky. Widely overfires Cole Kmet. That was near disaster for Chicago. We're going to take a look at the cap numbers for 2021. And in terms of how much should you spend on cap, it really depends on what you have available on the market. It's really hard to know. Obviously, Jacksonville went out last year, spent on Schobert. Hasn't been, super successful, but it's really helped the development of Miles Jack acquiring Schobert. So that was, worth it in that sense. New York Jets with the football again. Okay. 13-3 right now. Jets are up.
The Jets are projected to have about $74 million in cap space. They do have $107 million of active cap and also $15 million of dead cap, most of that coming from Trumaine Johnson and Le'Veon Bell. Both were early releases from their contract at that point. And now let's go look at the Jets. So with about $75 million, that's about as much as they had last year. I believe last year they had $80 million. That's going to be something worth monitoring. Maybe they're able to go out, address some of that offensive line needs that they have, and also maybe an edge rusher if there's one available, but those usually don't come free of charge. The Jaguars at this point have $114 million of dedicated cap. They are set to have $85 million in salary cap this offseason. Obviously, they don't have the dead cap that the New York Jets really have long term. They didn't have a guy like Trumaine Johnson that they released or Le'Veon Bell. So at this point, they're sitting pretty well with the cap and do have the most cap space in the NFL going into this offseason.
Mitch Trubisky widely misses Allen Robinson. Looks like we got a penalty. We have pass interference. Looks like it's going to be on Glenn Maben of Jacksonville. So that'll set up the Bears nicely at like the 3-yard line of Jacksonville. Who gets the ball at the half? I don't know on the Jets game.
Let me look at that. Jets box score play 5 play.
Brandon Cook scored a touchdown, tied 10-10, Cincinnati and Houston. Glenn Maben, critical penalty for Jacksonville. First and 10 for Chicago. Sets them up nicely on like the 11-yard line. Mitch Trubisky surveying, looking, can't find anybody. Throws it in the end zone. Complete duck, intercepted. Joe Schobert.
Schobert, the free agency addition, gets an interception off Mitch Trubisky. Really questionable decision there. Threw it up in heavy traffic. Nagy does not look happy with Mitch Trubisky right now as he trots off the field. Good job by Trubisky to extend this play, but ultimately a really poor decision.
Just take the 3, Mitch. Take the 3, Trubisky, please.
Sportsmania says, hi, Tilly. I love the channel, especially the mock draft. Keep up the great work. Keep grinding and road to 2,000. Yeah, we've been growing really fast. We've hit over 200 subscribers this past week. We love the support. Glad you're subbed and glad you're loving the channel, Sportsmania. Red Thunder says, who are some free agent names Jags and Jets should look at? Austin, is there specific ones that jump out to you?
like we had mentioned prior, Allen Robinson's definitely the number one guy, the best wide receiver in this free agent draft class. But let's take a look. If you can pull up some of the other names that I'm not exactly sure, some of the upcoming free agents, if I'm going to miss anybody.
And the Jets, by the way, are getting the ball at halftime in their game as well. They'll get the ball to start the second half. Let's look at NFL free agents. Okay, so we had mentioned already Allen Robinson. Also, Chris Godwin will be a free agent, but it's very likely he could get franchise tagged. What do you think will happen there with Godwin, Austin?
Yeah, they're gonna lock him up. They're gonna make sure that's taken care of. I think a long-term deal gets done. I think he wants to be there too. Obviously, you're gonna have some success with Tom Brady the next couple of years. Mike Glennon throws an interception right back to Roquan Smith, and Roquan Smith fumbles the ball, and
There's a pile. I believe the Bears have this one, it looks like.
the Bears do have the ball. Mike Glennon threw it right back. I cannot believe what we're seeing. This is a brutal game to watch. What is Chicago doing? What is Jacksonville doing? Roquan Smith appears to be hurt.
Was he going to lateral that?
I don't know what he was planning on doing with that ball.
Very fortunate to get that ball back. Could have sent the Jags.
AJ Cann ends up hitting Roquan in the head.
To me, okay, so Dak Prescott's a free agent. Doesn't really come into conversation here with the Jags and Jets, most likely. Allen Robinson, we had mentioned. Kenny Golladay, another guy out there. Quite a strong receiving class, to be honest, with Godwin, Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay. Obviously, there's going to be some guys who get either extended, re-signed, or possibly get franchise tagged. Anthony Harris did come back to the Vikings on a one-year deal last offseason. He's a guy that the Jags could really look at to improve their secondary, especially that safety position. Justin Simmons is another.
I want Justin Simmons. If we end up having a chance at him in free agency, if Denver doesn't let him go, that's a guy I want for sure. I think real quick, it is a 1st and 10 from the Jaguars, like 32-yard line, 8 seconds left in this half. Mitch Trubisky emptied it out. They call it timeout. But one thing I think they should consider doing here, we have everybody back for Jacksonville. I think Mitch Trubisky should take off and do a QB draw on this. They're going to be playing it back.
Yep.
They don't want to give up a big thing. I think they should go with the QB draw out of an empty set.
Also, another free agent to watch could be Brandon Scherf, obviously a guard. Austin, about Scherf, what kind of value could he bring to an NFL offense?
Just really the ability to run the football to a specific side. He's a phenomenal run blocker. That's his best strength. And obviously, he could really help out needs. Okay, Cole Kmet slides down.
Really
smart play called by Matt Nagy. They get it right on center of the hash marks, and they're going to get a field goal opportunity.
Yeah, the Jaguars lined up with a 3-man front and absolutely nobody in the middle of the field. Just a 3-yard dump route to Cole Kmet. Runs for 10 yards.
I am cheering for the Bears, but what is Todd Wash doing? You're not making this kick difficult at all. You for sure gave up, what was that, 15 yards?
Yeah, 15 yards about, yeah.
You made it 15 more yards. That is a really questionable decision by Todd Wash.
He had stacked the red zone, looking to not give up a touchdown, but a completely uncompetitive play in the middle of the field, especially with the Bears having a timeout left. That was just, kind of a foolish play called by the Jacksonville Jaguars there as Cairo Santos is lining up. He has made 23 consecutive field goals at this point. This could be 24 here if he puts in this 40-yard attempt. 5 seconds left in the half. The Chicago Bears are lining up. Snap to Pat O'Donnell. And the kick is good. We will be taking that into halftime here at the Chicago Bears with a 13-10 lead. Let me get that updated for you guys right here.
I think we're going to take a little game break. So we will actually come back and continue to stream once halftime is done here. Once again, please come back. We will get to your comments and questions after this is all done. So we will be back at halftime. Guys, please come back. We are excited for the second half of football.
Yeah, we'll just be going into a brief intermission here. Make sure you guys do comment. You can even have a conversation with each other in the comments right now. We love having you guys in here, and we'll catch you guys right back here before the second half starts. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. Aldrich Rosas about to kick off here to start the second half. It will be Chicago Bears football to start the second half. They are up 13-10 at this point. Austin, walk us through some of the things you saw in this game.
Yeah, first half was kind of ugly for both sides, to be quite frank with you. Mike Glenn with a crucial interception at the end of the half. Obviously, Jacksonville was not supposed to be in this game at this point, but he is, of course. But definitely a weird game that we've seen so far. A lot of things that we weren't expecting going in. We didn't think Jacksonville could defend the run. They have. And it's weird. Chicago hasn't even really tried to run the football, to be quite honest. Doug Costin's done a nice job containing the middle of the defensive line. But as a whole, looks pretty good here for Jacksonville in terms of how they've played comparatively versus the rest of the season. So
R. Vega says, in my opinion, A.J. Terrell has been the top corner of this class this year. Watched a lot of Falcons games because you had Julio and Gurley in fantasy and always making big plays. What are your thoughts? Yeah, he's been probably the most consistent out of the top guys at this point. Obviously, I think, guys like Okudah and Henderson still have that top-end potential above him. And, corners usually tend to struggle early in his career. That's how it's going to be. They have probably one of the steepest learning curves outside of the quarterback position. You have to adjust to a whole bunch of different route concepts, a whole bunch of different type of movement, game speed, all that. So I think that's kind of why we're looking at that. Our Vega says Mahomes threw a pick six. Oh, he fumbled.
Montgomery with the big play all the way down to the Jacksonville 40. Bears are in a rhythm offensively. Go to Allen Robinson, then they go to their playmaker in David Montgomery out of the backfield. You see Joe Schobert on the coverage here. Nope, nobody had the underneath coverage, to be quite frank. So really good start for Chicago out the gate here. Blown assignment. Obviously, that's something we've seen all year long. Todd Wash is the worst defensive coordinator in the entire league. David Montgomery on the carry. Well, 3-yard gain. Doug Costin was in on that. Joe Schobert with the tackle. We will look and see if we can find that pick that you're talking about. We'll take a look and see here. Appreciate you giving us some insight on what you're seeing and hearing as well.
Montgomery's been on a tear the last 4 games with 434 rushing.
Take a look. I'm gonna search Mahomes on Twitter and see if we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing as well.
Under the latest tab. Check down David Montgomery, stiff arms Miles Jack. Miles Jack brings him securely to the ground on a 2nd and 7 to bring up the 2nd and 5. Trying to find that interception that you're referring to, or fumble or whatever it would have been.
No, it's not.
Well, there's the pick. Wow.
Especially 13 straight.
Wow.
What a return here for the Falcons. Oh, and he fumbled it. Oh, my gosh, and the Chiefs couldn't get on it. That is a crazy play, R. Vega. Oh, my goodness. Wow. A rare interception and mistake by Patrick Mahomes down in the red zone as well. That's their 2nd turnover of the day. Obviously, Sammy Watkins threw a pick earlier in that game. Not something I'd expected to say today when I woke up.
Oh, wow. 4th and 5, and the Bears are keeping the offense on the field.
No Kid is back. Welcome back, No Kid. Glad to have you back.
4th and 5 for Chicago. This could be a huge turning point in the game for Jacksonville if they get a stop. Really am hoping against that, but we will see. 4th and 5. I do not trust Trubisky in this situation making the correct decision as a whole.
Trubisky out of the gun.
They blitz. Hit Allen Robinson for the first down. Allen Robinson with a huge pickup.
Fights for 8 yards
huge.
there. Picks up the 4th and 5. And the Bears keep the drive moving further into Jaguars territory here. Risky play call by Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears there. Obviously could have set the Jaguars up with good field position, but Allen Robinson gets the job done. Beats his man in man-to-man coverage on the slat.
Glenn Maven again, guys.
New York the Jets are now favored over the Cleveland Browns in their game based on betting odds for those of you interested in that game.
Mr. Trubisky hits Anthony Miller. About an 8-yard gain for Anthony Miller. We're going to see a 2nd and 2 Jacksonville's corners are now starting to show their true colors.
Which is unusual for a right-handed quarterback. So Trubisky does a nice job getting his shoulder.
What a risk reward play by the Bears, definitely.
Absolutely, man. That's what you have to do.
Colts are touting the Steelers. The Steelers have not looked good as of late. Definitely. Routing. My fault.
I like that. Yeah, seriously, big reward. Daniel Ross on the stop there.
The Jets-Browns game is about to get going again in the second half here.
Jets with the football.
Right across his face, and I don't know that David Montgomery ever saw him coming.
Big play by Ross, forcing a 3rd and 3. I don't see Chicago going for it if they don't get it. I don't know. I just think that they should take their 3 here if they don't get this. 3rd and 3, Trubisky back to pass, looks, fires, finds Allen Robinson, who is just killing these corners. Chris Claybrooks on the coverage.
Robinson, a nice little 6-yard comeback route there. Gets the football, gets the first down for the Chicago Bears. Mitch Trubisky and the Bears have been relying on him all day in the past game, and he delivers yet again.
He definitely pushed off on Claybrooks, but it's really interesting to note about Jacksonville is Claybrooks was drafted as a returner. I must mind you, exclusively a returner, and he is having to play corner this year all year long.
Allen Robinson with his 8th catch on the day for 84 yards, and we get a handoff up the middle.
David Montgomery powers his way down to the 5-yard line.
Fights for 9 yards, and they are 1 yard away from a first down, which would be a 1st and goal for them at this point, down at the 5.
Allen Robinson, man. Yeah, I've been saying this. Allen Robinson is an extremely underrated receiver. Just being able to go and high point the football. Just incredible what we've seen today.
No kid just got an Allen jersey. That is awesome. Gotta love that. Yeah, Allen Robinson's been pretty nuts today. Not gonna lie, he's been out there performing.
Mitch Trubisky takes it into the end zone. Touchdown Chicago Bears on the bootleg. Wasn't really by design. He just saw the opening and took it. Chicago, Big Ten touchdown. Looking to get that 10-point lead with pending an extra point. Dwan Smoot shows his frustration. I get it. I totally get it. Give your puppy a shower. Nice.
That's awesome. Glad to have you back here in the stream, Red Thunder.
Vega, yeah, talking about the Steelers. What is going on? Please tell me. Please let me know why this is happening, in your opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Cairo Santos, extra point is good.
Bears are now up.
Or no, it was 20. I'm sorry, yeah.
Bears are now up 22-10 here against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Have a commanding 10-point lead. This is kind of what we had expected today. No James Robinson for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Been tough for them to move the ball. It's 3rd and 2 on the 5, and Steelers got a clutch sack to make it 4th and 10.
Yep.
Chiefs went 3 and out. That is a rare sight at this point for the Kansas City Chiefs and also Patrick Mahomes. Let's get our eyes back on the New York Jets game. Let's get that Darnold game back up here. All right, here we are. It is 13-3. The Jets are moving the ball, though. A 25-yard completion to Jamison Crowder. They are now at Cleveland's 34 with a chance to tack on more to their 10-point lead. We see the Jaguars down by 10 here at this point. We also see the New York Jets up by 10. That has huge draft implication for those of you just tuning in now. Baker Mayfield struggling a little bit today. Obviously had his whole receiving core out, and they're just not running the football. They've only had 9 rush attempts this game so far. That's kind of surprising to me. Nick Chubb really struggling. 8 carries for 6 yards. Kareem Hunt 1 carry for -2. Not a good day for the Cleveland Browns so far. Mayfield's 13 of 24 on the day for 124 yards. Austin Hooper has been his lead guy like we had expected.
Hunter Bryant.
Yep, Hunter Bryant and Njoku. You're seeing the tight ends really go out. Only 1 receiver catch, Bradley, with a 1 catch for 6 yards. And the New York Jets side, you have Jamison Crowder with 43 passing yards on the trick play touchdown they had earlier. they're not rushing the ball very well either, but they have a whole collection of guys who have done it. LaMichael Pirine, Rashad Perriman, Jamison Crowder, Ty Johnson, Sam Darnold, and Frank Gore have all carried the ball at least once for the Jets. And receiving, Jamison Crowder leads the way for the New York Jets with 5 catches for 60 yards. Berrios also has 60 yards and a touchdown today, obviously coming from the trick play throw from Jamison Crowder. Sam Darnold has looked impressive. Our Vegas says, I'll have to take your words on that. I haven't gotten to watch that game yet. We are blacked out there for that one. But that is something good to see. With the win, we probably won't be going quarterback is my guess. So hopefully he continues to take steps forward. I hope we trade down, honestly, in the draft. Let us know what you think the Jets should do. When will Christian McCaffrey come back? No Kid asks. That's a really good question. You can, I don't know, it's kind of hard to predict. We both had him in fantasy this year, actually, in our own leagues, and we had kind of hoped he'd be back sooner than later, but that has not been the case so far. Little trickery here for the Jaguars on the kickoff. Does not pan out for them, though. 14 yards. They did an end around on the kickoff. Handoff did not go to plan, though. Stopped well short of 20.
There may be a holding call as well.
Very smooth. Could have been a train wreck. Trying to get cute. Really get the ball to the 15-yard line.
Meeks. I don't even know who that is. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, you can take some calculated risk. You can take some chances.
Oh, Chicago with the crucial 15-yard penalty. They were in a really good position.
Legal contact there. And the Jets have scored a touchdown.
Ooh,
Jamison Crowder, 30-yard reception from Sam Darnold. They are now up 20-3 after a Sam Ficken extra point. Our Vega, how's my day going? Not well. My day is not going well. The New York Jets are going to win. The Jacksonville Jaguars are likely going to lose. That cements Trevor Lawrence as a Jacksonville Jaguar if that does happen. Yes, our Vega, 20-3 Jets leading. Absolute nightmare situation right now for me as a Jets fan. I'm sure Austin here is all smiles, though, with the news that he's getting at this point.
Nice pass.
Nice pass. Mike Lennon dots Darogan Boale out of the backfield. There is a flag on the play, though, on the 7-yard gain. Wide open, Jamison Crowder, touchdown. OMG is right. I am losing my mind here at this point. The New York Jets are coming out and walking all over the Cleveland Browns. Not really what we'd hope to see. Obviously, the contact tracing for those wide receivers there, Rashad Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Jarvis Landry, really puts a damper onto what they could do. But quite frankly, now at this point, we have some problems. Man, oh man. Oh gosh. Austin, what's your thoughts on the Jets game?
I am surprised.
Yeah,
To say the least. I thought Cleveland was still going to win.
I'm going to have to listen to
With
his.
no wide receivers, I thought they were going to win that game. 1st and 20, Darogan Boale for 1. This is a big drive. I mean, this really, if they don't get this, it's going to be tough for Jacksonville to win this game still.
He's done through his first 20 starts.
It's kind of unreal what we're seeing on this Sunday. I was not expecting, unless Cleveland gets a quick touchdown. However, let's take notice of this. The Jets were up on the Rams big in the 3rd quarter, ended up blowing the lead basically. So
Game came back down to the wire. Jets were able to close it out with a nice pass to Frank Gore, unfortunately, at that point. But now it looks like they are in danger of possibly winning another game.
Oh,
And
that was almost a guarantee for Trevor Lawrence there.
a nearly wonderful play by Nichols.
Almost had a pick 6 as the defensive lineman read the screen perfectly.
Oh, just couldn't get his hands on it. Wonderful diving attempt as well after the play. Just couldn't get the job done, though. Oh, man, I can't believe the Jets are winning and going to probably win. Oh, man, yikes.
A lot of football game left. A lot of football game in both games here. Jacksonville still has a shot, only down 10. Obviously, the Jets have been known to blow leads.
Big 3rd and 17 here. Glennon, another screen to Ogunbowale. Makes a guy miss, gets to the outside, but only picks up 4 here as he goes out of bounds. That'll be a 4th and 13 or so at this point now, and the Jaguars will be punting the football back to the Chicago Bears. 20-10 is your score here.
So keep in mind, for those who have been in the stream and everything, looking at the Trevor Lawrence implications. If Jacksonville loses and the Jets win, Jacksonville has clinched the number 1 pick if that scenario happens. It both have to happen in order for them to clinch it.
I want to take a quick break to look at the Bengals-Texans game here. David Johnson just did score up the middle for 4 yards on his touchdown run. Fumble by the Bears. The ball is loose. I think the Bears are back on it.
Oh, Bears remain on the football. That was near disaster. Wonderful hit by, I don't even know who it was. What a hit. Seriously. Wow.
Yeah,
That was a
wonderful
punishing hit. Was that Bruce Miller that
I
ended
think
up
so.
lighting him up?
Bruce Miller. Oh, my goodness.
Chuck Pagano trying to cool down Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy is not happy with that play. There is a flag now down as well. We'll see what this is.
Very well could have been. I don't know if that was helmet to helmet. We'll have to see. That might have been a clean hit.
Going back to the Bengals-Texans game at this point. Let's see this hit here real quick, though.
Bruce Miller led with the shoulder head area at the head of the returner. Very violent hit.
Looks like Bruce Miller shook up a little bit as well.
15-yard penalty on Jacksonville. We are going to take another quick break. We are going to get some food and stuff. So stay in if you have enjoyed it. We will be back. Thank you so much for being patient.
Yeah, make sure
with
to have a little bit of a conversation in the comments. Let each other know who you like in the draft, what you think about today's games. The Jets' big lead, the Bears' 10-point lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we'll be back as soon as
the stream. We're talking.
All right. Welcome back, guys. Sorry we're away. We don't do this many, but Jacob Malkin asked if you can highlight that one there, Austin. Who you taking to win the Super Bowl? To me, it seems like the Kansas City Chiefs would be the answer at this point. They just seem like the most complete team when you really look at what their offensive talent is compared to their defensive improvements. They've really improved defensively. L'Jarius Sneed's given them some quality cornerback play this year. Red Thunder is back.
Let's go, Red Thunder.
Welcome back to the stream. Glad to have you. Jets are still up 20-3, and it is their ball. Frank Gore runs behind the right guard for 3 yards up to the 32. There must have been a fumble on the punt from the Cleveland Browns. That's a terrible mistake for the Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely.
Quite frankly, not something you want to see at this point. Also, another big game has been the Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Not something you'd really expect to be saying at this point of the season with how the kind of the season's played out. But pulling that game up right now, the Bengals are up 24-17. Just did kick off back to the Houston Texans. If the Bengals went on to win this game, they would move past the Texans selection, which actually is owned by the Miami Dolphins. We could see the Miami Dolphins possibly picking as high as third this year in the NFL draft. Obviously, really good team. I believe they're 9-4 now at this point. And they've just been really playing on all cylinders. They had a nice win over the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday. And now at this point, you'd be seeing them also with the third overall selection. That's quite a scary combination of things that could happen.
Crazy. What are you guys seeing? What's new, everybody? 8 yards in the second half for Jacksonville.
Is now 27-10 is the score here in Jacksonville. The Bears have a commanding lead now at this point, up 27-10.
Yep, absolutely.
Back to this, we got Bears at the Jaguars. Obviously, here this is the game we were talking about, but we're also looking at some other things. As of today, the draft order would be Jaguars 1, New York Jets 2, Cincinnati Bengals 3. But like I had said with the Bengals, winning over the Houston Texans, they would actually jump the Texans in that spot. That would put the Miami Dolphins up to 3. Pretty big implications there. Welcome back to the stream, guys. Those of you who are just coming back for the first time, glad to have you as well. And if you guys aren't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button in the description below. We have all of our socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and we also have a merchandise line if you guys are interested. We have some really nice black sweatshirts, long sleeve tees, a whole bunch of different options for you guys. You can get them in any size from small to extra large, so go check those out. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. What's your guys' thoughts on the Jets-Browns game? Obviously the Jets are up big right now, 20-3 there in Cleveland, and they have the ball. Pretty interesting scenario we got going on.
Got to check on this Jets game. This is the biggest implications of the week for anything.
For those of you who aren't aware, if the New York Jets win today and the Jacksonville Jaguars lose, we are looking at...
Field goal is blocked. Pass is intercepted by Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith with the interception.
Second pick of the day for Roquan.
The Jets do get their field goal blocked. 50-yarder from Sam Ficken was blocked. However, they still have a 17-point lead. The Bears are up 17 here in this game. If the Jaguars lose today and the New York Jets find a way to win that game against the Cleveland Browns, the Jacksonville Jaguars would secure the number 1 pick. So this game has a lot of implications yet as we're watching and playing this one out. Obviously, this interception by Mike Glennon here does not help the Jaguars' case though moving forward.
What a game. Jacksonville looking like they are going to lose this football game, down 17 with Chicago on their own 25. On the Jacksonville 25, excuse me. Pretty crazy what we've seen from today. If you're a Jags fan, you're cheering for the Jets, and if you're a Jets fan, you're cheering for the Jags.
Jacksonville with only 2 rush yards in the second half at this point. Chicago has controlled the line of scrimmage quite a bit in this game now, especially the further we get.
Doug Costin for Jacksonville is down, the standout undrafted rookie from Miami of Ohio.
When there's work to be done, your most powerful tool
At this point, it's been a pretty nuts Sunday. Like we've been talking about, the Jets are up on the Cleveland Browns. The Cincinnati Bengals are up on the Houston Texans. Huge draft implication. For all that, we'll be having a mock draft come out tomorrow for the NFL here. So if you guys are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button to catch that mock. You don't want to miss it. Turn on the notifications as well so you don't miss out on any of our content here at Utility Sports. Super happy to have all you guys in the stream. Love having you here. And right now, it's just been an interesting game, Austin. Looking at the Jaguars, Doug Marrone named Mike Glennon the starter for this week. We've seen some up and down play from him, mostly down, to be completely honest. Why did Doug Marrone go with that decision? And what do you think about his play today?
So I think Doug Marrone is legitimately actually trying to win because this is his job on the line. And if he could have won a couple of games on the stretch and say, hey, I was able to win with this roster. Cleveland has now all of a sudden moved down to the New York Jets 16 in a matter of a couple plays. I think the Browns are right in this game. I've been saying that. I think the Jets will still blow this game. Anyway, going back to Doug Marrone, he is trying to win this game legitimately. Why did he go with Mike Glennon? Well, Doug Marrone is very much about what happens in practice will translate to a game. And if Mike Glennon's having a better practice than Gardner Minshew throughout the week, I think that's who he's going to roll with. I don't know why he does that. I think that really hurts receivers. I think that hurts the team as a whole. But there's a reason why this team is as bad as they are. It's because of guys like Doug Marrone and Todd Wash being in offensive or defensive coordinator role and head coach role. So that's basically what it comes down to me.
Yeah, you're looking at, kind of a rough season, to be completely honest, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had a nice week 1 win over the Indianapolis Colts. People thought, okay, maybe this team's better than we had expected. And then kind of realism hit the fan a little bit. We saw the Jacksonville Jaguars struggle quite a bit. Obviously, not really a great performance on their part today either. They had some bright spots. DJ Chark had a wonderful catch and a beautiful throw from Mike Glennon. But other than that, the game's been pretty slow moving for them. Only have put up 10 points so far. Just haven't really gotten the ball moving. And obviously the absence of James Robinson really affects that. Awesome. What do you think about James Robinson's rookie year and kind of the impact he's had on this Jaguars team?
James Robinson has been one of the only bright spots on the team as a whole. I think he did a really, really good job making the most of his opportunity. He only had 2 offers coming out of undrafted free agency. Caleb Von Chase on almost with the strip.
And we have a touchdown, Bears. Jimmy Graham wide open in the end zone. Sorry to cut you off there, Austin.
Yeah, that was a big touchdown. Caleb Von Chase on almost had the strip sack, but Mitch Trubisky throws an absolute dime out to Jimmy Graham. Something to monitor again. We look back to the Jets game.
The Browns are down on the Jets 3-yard line at this point. 1st and goal from the 3. Baker Mayfield just had a 4-yard run. We are keeping our eyes on this game. Huge draft pick implications. Trevor Lawrence could be a Jacksonville Jaguar, possibly, but the New York Jets could still blow their lead. Everything you want to see here in this 24-point lead now for the Chicago Bears. As soon as Cairo Santos puts this extra point through, assuming he does. Mitch Trubisky on the day, 21 of 31, throwing 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, and of course the 1 interception right before halftime in the end zone. And quite frankly, the Bears come to play. They're playing with their playoff lives on the line. Austin, looking at the playoff race, they would be passing the Arizona Cardinals and can control their own destiny. What do you think about the Bears' likelihood to make the playoffs? And what do you really think about the Bears team as a whole?
So the Chicago Bears, I think that's pretty interesting that we bring up playoffs. Like, obviously, this is a humongous game for them. They do play the Packers in the final week of the season. Like I had mentioned earlier, I think that's a tough game. They've had it circled on their schedule all year long. And if you're a Bears fan, you're nervous about that final game. Green Bay is going to be jockeying for the number 1 seed in the NFC, and Chicago is just trying to make the playoffs in general. I think they can beat Green Bay. I really do. I really, really do. They have such a good defense, and Mitch Trubisky has been playing, quite a bit better, obviously. And we've seen it in this game. I mean, they've absolutely tore up the Jags in the second half. So one of the hotter teams in football in Chicago. They've been a weird team all season. Started off extremely hot, went ice cold for weeks in the middle of the season, and then now they're back to being on a roll.
Yeah, you're looking at some of the playoff scenarios possibly. The Arizona Cardinals are 8-7 at this point. With the Bears win today, they would move to 8-7 and pass the Cardinals with the tiebreaker for that last playoff spot. The Bears going into Green Bay next week against the Packers. would need to win that game to secure a playoff spot for sure. Otherwise, you would need a Cardinals loss. The Cardinals are playing in LA against the Rams this Sunday, and we are back here with the game.
Yep. I will get the volume on. We'll see if they go to commercial. Chris Claybrooks is bringing it out for Jacksonville. Brings it all the way out to the 30.
R. Vega, welcome back here. Moritz Honig says, Jaguars got Lawrence. That is not guaranteed yet. If the Jets do manage to blow their lead in the Browns game, which we're going to be looking back at here in a second, that has a lot of implications. And the Browns did score. Cody Parkey puts in the extra point. Nick Chubb, 1-yard rush for the Cleveland Browns. It is now 20-10 there in that game. If the Jets find a way to lose that game, the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes is not over. It would come down to a Week 17 matchup in which Jacksonville faces Indianapolis, and the New York Jets face the New England Patriots. And a near interception from Mike Lennon. Our Vegas says touchdown Browns. Yep, it was the 1-yard carry by Nick Chubb. Which team do you think could be a Cinderella team in the playoffs? Great question, Nathan Joyner. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you in here. Austin, what team, like he had asked here, would be a Cinderella team possibly?
That's pretty tough. A team that I think that definitely could be that Cinderella team could be Indianapolis. They play really solid football, great offensive line, really good defense. A team that's not been giving a lot of consideration in terms of being a contender, but I think that's a very possible team that could go further than most think.
Yeah, another team to me too is the Baltimore Ravens. They've been a little up and down. Obviously, looking at the roster, they're one of the best rosters in the league. I don't know if they're essentially a Cinderella team, but based on where their seeding is going to be, they're going to be a team that not many see as a favorite or a real super true contender at this point. We do have a Falcons fumble. Our Vegas says the Chiefs getting the ball back there. Another Dez touchdown for the Ravens, right on cue there with the team I had chosen as a team to watch come playoff time. Obviously, they've struggled in the past with Lamar Jackson come playoff time, but I think that if they get slept on, they could be a really dangerous team here. Dez Bryant scoring touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. Moritz Honig says he likes our videos. Keep on going. Glad that you enjoyed the videos, Moritz. Super glad you're enjoying them. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. But Browns will most likely win, and I can't see the Colts losing to the Jags. Yeah, that's true. Like the thing about the Colts is they did lose earlier, and depending on what the playoff scenarios look like, they could even possibly rest starters if they do clinch their playoff berth today, and if their seeding doesn't look super advantageous to risk some injuries.
Oh man, it's really possible that Jags lose out on this Lawrence thing. I want to know what the playoff scenarios are for the Colts, because I thought they were going to lose today to Pittsburgh, but I think they're winning right now.
Yep, the Colts are up on Pittsburgh right now. Let's take a look at the playoff picture at this point in the NFL. Pulling this up, what we could be seeing at this point in the AFC, we have the Chiefs at 13-1. They will probably have the first seed, assuming they beat the Atlanta Falcons. That would clinch them to bye. The Buffalo Bills are at 2 with an 11-3 record. The Steelers, who are down, are third currently, but they would fall. The Titans are right at 4 here at a 10-4 record, and the Colts are tied with them, but second in the AFC South based on tiebreaker. A win here today and a win over the Jaguars would secure them the number 1 spot, assuming the Titans lose a game.
I think the Colts are going to need to win that final week to try to get their division.
Yeah, that's going to be something interesting to watch. And the thing is, too, the playoffs are very tight right now. We have multiple 10-win teams in the AFC. The Titans are a 10-win team. The Browns are a 10-win team. The Colts, the Dolphins, the Ravens right now are even on the bubble. They are not a team that would be in the playoffs today if the playoffs started. They are up in their game, though, and they'll need a little bit of help. A Browns loss could go a long ways in seeing that. And moving to the NFC, we have the Packers with the 1 seed. They're likely going to be the team that clinches that bye in the first round, but we'll see as we move into Week 17 as well. The Saints are 2nd seed with an 11-4 record. The Seattle Seahawks are 10-4 this year, first in the NFC West. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are sitting as the 5 seed currently, 2nd in the NFC South. Obviously, the Washington football team, they have not clinched that. They have not clinched that division yet, but the Giants are losing currently. That could be the team we see representing the NFC East. The Rams also 2nd in NFC West, and the Cardinals 3rd in the NFC West. This is why the Bears game is so important here, as you can see the Cardinals fall out of the playoffs, possibly the LA Rams if they fail to win any games down the stretch here, but it's more likely that they are going to move on more. It says the AFC really is strong. Yes, they are, especially at the top, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, two really complete teams. Obviously, the Chiefs have some holes defensively, but that offense is so good.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's really good. Yeah, they got a really great roster as well. And even the teams like Indianapolis, Tennessee, like those are some really strong teams, well-rounded teams. What's your thoughts, Austin, on some of the other games in the playoff matchups we could possibly be seeing?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I just talking about the seeding, there's a lot of things that could still happen, like you had highlighted. There could be so much movement at the bottom of this NFC for the playoff seedings. I'm really interested to see how this Colts thing plays out. Obviously, being a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, you have your eye on that Colts game essentially. You really want them to beat you down in Week 17, so you secure the number 1 pick if the Jets manage to lose today. Right now, it looks like Jacksonville is going to lose this game for sure. 34-10, Mitch Trubisky, unless he makes some very crucial mistakes down the stretch, I don't see Jacksonville coming out ahead on this one.
Yeah, less than a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Allen Robinson has been the go-to guy for Mitchell Trubisky today. Picked up clutch third down after clutch third down. Really been the guy for the Chicago Bears. And key thing here, that we are looking at a 4th and 1 here in the Jets game. The Jets are possibly going to punt here. They're at the position of the field where it's likely they will. They're on their own 34, and that could give the Browns the ball back with 3 minutes left in the third quarter and plenty of time to chisel down that 10-point lead. Allen Robinson with 97 yards today on 9 catches. Darnell Mooney's also been a nice weapon. He catches one here in the flat and takes it up the field for 6 or 7 yards, 8 yards here even, fights for the first down. Excellent effort from Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is going to move the chains here on that play. And we have the Bengals, Houston Texans are tied again at 24. That game obviously has huge implications as well, like we've been talking about. A lot going on in the NFL this week. Even some of the low-end teams that aren't playing well this year have a lot of implications in their game. Stin says, it's done, Mr. Jets fan. The Jags got number 1 pick. They actually do not guaranteed have the number 1 pick. If the Jaguars lose and the Jets find a way to blow the lead against the Cleveland Browns, it all comes down to Week 17, the Jets matchup against the New England Patriots, which could very well be a loss, and the Jaguars versus the Indianapolis Colts. The only team that they beat this year was the Indianapolis Colts. It is not fully over. Yes, it's very likely the Jaguars get the number 1 pick. I would say it's probably 90% type of thing. That's how confident I am that the Jaguars will get the number 1 pick, but it is mathematically not out of the question yet at this point. So that is something we're going to be continuing to cover. Moritz says, funny how either Ravens or Browns would not get into the playoffs with an 11-5 record in AFC, but Philly could get in the playoffs with 6-9-1 in NFC. Yeah, the NFC is definitely got some holes, especially looking at that NFC East. The division really over there has not been great this year. Austin, walk us through what you kind of saw with the NFC East this year, some of the flaws on some of those teams, and what you expect from that division moving forward.
Yeah, for the NFC East, obviously we thought it was going to be Dallas, Philly kind of as the top 2 teams in the division. Obviously, Dallas has had some major injuries, especially Dak Prescott. Carson Wentz is, I don't even know how to describe his downfall this season. It was brutal to watch. That offense as a whole with Carson Wentz. Obviously, Jalen Hurts comes in, provides a spark. They're able to win a couple of games. Looking at the Giants team that at one point in the season when they had, I don't know, I think it was 4 or 5 wins, they thought maybe that they could win that division. But now, obviously, they've been losing, so they aren't really in the driver's seat in that division. But Washington football team, which at the very start of the year, a lot of people had thought that they could be the 2nd overall pick in the draft, now looks like the division winner.
Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah, Rivera's had a really good impact there. Obviously, was fighting cancer earlier in the year, and really did a good job staying focused on that football team. They come out, they played hard. They kind of remind me of the Dolphins of last year. You know, their roster really isn't that good, but they seem to be overperforming kind of what their roster is. Stin says, Jags will not beat the Colts, man. It's over. I would like to know if you thought that the Jets would beat the LA Rams, though, because if it was actually over, the NFL would just not have them play the game. You play the game for a reason. The players want to win. Mike Glennon is not trying to lose to the Chicago Bears here. He's just not a good player. If we see Gardner Minshew against them, and possibly if the Colts either rest players or overlook them, it is possible that the Jacksonville Jaguars could walk out with a win. I'm not saying it's likely, but possible is completely different. And I think that you can't just rule that out because no one thought the Jets would win a game at all, let alone beat a playoff team in the LA Rams and now be leading a playoff team in the Cleveland Browns. That game has yet to finish. We'll kind of see what happens there. But that is kind of the thing to watch.
See what's going on with the Jets
Let's
here.
load this up here. End of the third quarter here. It does look like it's Browns ball on the Jets 42. They are already moving 22 yards out from the red zone. It is a 1st and 10 for them. This drive has already been 5 plays of 41 yards after the punt. Oh, good question here from Moritz. He says Waddle, Devontae, or Chase, Sawson. You feel quite strongly about this one. You have done a lot of research on these receivers. Walk us through what your kind of thoughts are on these 3.
Yeah, I like all 3 of the receivers. I think really, really talented top 3 receivers in the class, obviously. I think Jamar Chase offers so much in terms of his ability to run routes, his ability to use his body to shield off defenders, to make contested catches. Devontae Smith is also a really, really good prospect as well. He's arguably the best receiver in the class in terms of contested catches as well. He's able to make things happen after he gets the ball as well. So something about Chase, he's not a phenomenal athlete, but he could very well be the best receiver in this class, and that's how I feel at the moment. Obviously, Devontae Smith has had almost a Heisman-like year at receiver. I don't think he will win Heisman, but he's presented himself a strong case with Mac Jones. Jalen Waddle, I really wish he would have been able to play this year. Obviously, he was hurt, for the entire season. So for me, it's Chase 1, Smith 2, Waddle 3. But once again, I want to preface that I think Smith is, definitely close the gap between him and Jamar Chase for sure.
Yeah, you're looking at Devontae Smith really having a phenomenal year this year. Jamar Chase with the opt-out before the season started, I think that was a smart decision for him. But I like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Devontae Smith would be the first receiver taken. I think he's a really, really polished receiver. He's got really good athleticism. And like you had mentioned, the contested catches, I think a lot of NFL GMs are going to look at him as a prize player. Very well could be a top 10 player in the entire class as well. So it's kind of interesting. And also looking at the wide receivers, Austin, talk about some of the depth that we see in this year's class. Obviously, in some of our mocks, we've even seen 5, maybe even 4 or 5, I guess, NFL receivers taken in the first round. What do you think about the depth in this class?
Yeah, I think the last 2 years have been great for wide receivers. I definitely think that last year was one of the best wide receiving classes ever. Actually, when it's all said and done, I think they're going to be one of the top, most highly regarded receiving classes. But this year, same kind of depth, to be honest with you. Rashad Bateman's a guy that very well was said to be a top 15 player in the entire class before the year started. He won't be that, but he's definitely probably the 4th best receiver in this class. Really, really strong case to be a top 3 guy too. But he's there. There's Rondale Moore from Purdue, who's going to be a really nice slot wide out.
We have a wildcat formation here. The Bears move the ball up. Pierce gets a huge run up to the Jacksonville 3 or 4 yard line, right in the goal line here. Looking back at the Jets game here, we do have the Browns still on the Jets 42. Just started the 4th quarter here now.
Oh boy!
And
Nick Chubb, big carry.
Down to the Jets 20, or down to what? Looks like they. Oh yeah, down to the Jets 26 here.
Yeah, they just down distance wrong.
Crazy play there, and
Touchdown.
Pierce walks into the end zone for the Chicago Bears. It is now 40-0, pending an extra point. Could make it 41. Our Vega says, "I take you guys into TikTok. That shows Jags fans cheering when the Bears scored. That is awesome.
Right, I'm going to check that out.
Let's
quick.
pull that up real quick. Thank you for doing so, our Vega. We really appreciate that. And like he had just said here, we do have a TikTok. It's in the description right now. If you guys are interested in following us there, maybe Instagram or Twitter, you can go do that now. We also have a merchandise line. The black hoodies, black sweatshirts, black T-shirts, long sleeves, a whole bunch of different things, even a quarter zip if that's something you guys are interested in. If Chase would have played another year with this LSU team, Chase would have had it a lot more difficult. Would have been interesting to see, but that's probably why he opted out. It definitely is more. It's, Miles Brennan's been out for them. The quarterback position just has been very inconsistent with the freshmen that they've had playing there at LSU. And quite frankly, you're looking at probably a really good business decision by Jamar Chase to opt out. He's had a phenomenal year with Joe Burrow, 20 touchdowns that season. He was even better than Justin Jefferson that year. And we've seen what Justin Jefferson can do in the NFL. I think that Jamar Chase is going to be an absolute weapon when he gets to the league, and that's going to continue to be the case here.
Real quick, on the TikTok, I don't have a tag notification. Maybe you can follow us, and then I can click on your profile to take a look at it. I'm excited to see this, though.
41-10 is our new updated score here as the
What
Bears
happened with
continue to
Jets?
roll it on. Need back out of this and go back in. The Browns are looking at a 3rd and 10 from the Jets 26 here. Field goal would still go a long way in that game, getting it closer. 14.5 yet to play. Plenty of time for the Cleveland Browns in that game, but they will have to be on their absolute A game to come back still at this point. Are they did you find the tag yet or no? No. All right. What's our thing?
It's at Utility Sports.
Yeah, all together, just like this. I'll put it in the chat here. That is our TikTok right here for you guys if you want to go check us out on there. We also have an Instagram if you look us up there, and a Twitter. Links also are in the descriptions for those. Make sure to go hit that follow button. And again, thank you for all those who've been in the stream here. Thank you for the support as we've grown our channel. We really do appreciate everything you've brought for us, guys. Moritz asks, Philly or Dallas tonight, Austin? What do you think there for that game?
Philly or Dallas? That's interesting. I'm probably going to go Philly tonight. I think Jalen Hurts is just playing with an edge right now, and I think he's kind of got some of the Philly players buying in, so I'm going to go Philly. Let us know who you think, too.
Yeah, Philly. Definitely Dallas this season's been quite interesting, too. Obviously, they've had Andy Dalton starting at quarterback, even Ben DiNucci for a week. Just been, kind of up and down after Dak Prescott get injured. I think that kind of put a real halt in their season. It would have been interesting to kind of see what they really look like healthy this year.
Absolutely.
Be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already. Look at Atlanta. Atlanta is up on the Chiefs right now, says No Kid. Let me go check out that game as well. That is obviously a big-time game at this point. They are up 14-10. Extra point was good by Younghoe Koo. Laquan Treadwell finds the end zone for the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, Quan.
The Minnesota Viking draft pick a few years back finds his way into the end zone for the Atlanta Falcons. His career's been a little up and down, but he's coming up big today for the Atlanta Falcons. That has huge draft pick implications as well. We've seen them top 6 this year in the mock draft sometimes. And at this point, if a win over the Chiefs, they could fall quite a bit in the mocks.
Especially since they came out of the locker room at halftime.
Well, pass interference for the Jets leads to Browns, I think, first down now.
Let's pull that game back up here real quick. Yep, and they are down to the New York Jets 4. We have a 1st and goal now. Baker Mayfield up the middle for 2 yards, gets the first down. And we are seeing the Jets possibly melt down. Austin had been saying that he thinks the Browns, even when they were down 20-3, are not out of that game. And now we see the possibility of the Browns closing it to a 3-point deficit yet at the end of this drive. Still a lot of time yet to go. 13 minutes left in that game as well. Plenty of time for the Cleveland Browns to add on more.
This Jacksonville game is definitely over. 41-10 current score.
Moritz is a Philly fan, says, I don't know if I want them to tank for Chase or make the playoffs where they will most likely lose the wild card. Yeah, making the playoffs at this point would be kind of tough because you see your pick fall to around 19 or 20. Probably not the best for long-term future, really looking at getting a guy like Jamar Chase, whether that be for Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts, would have a really good upside there. Austin, about Jamar Chase, obviously, as a Philly fan, he'd love to have him. What would he bring to that Philadelphia Eagles offense?
He's one of those guys. Oh, let's take a look at the
TikTok here quick, and then we'll get back right to that Moritz on.
You can give your thoughts. I'll take a
look.
Yeah,
so to me, like looking at him, he gives you that guy who's going to be a consistent weapon. Like you can get him the ball because he's such a good route runner. He's going to short to intermediate route find himself open often. Even without the high-end athleticism, he's not going to be a guy who runs 4.35, 4.40, but he's going to be a guy that gets himself open. Route running is really the pinnacle of receiver play, in my opinion. The best players in the league, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Antonio Brown, when he was in that situation, was great because of his route running, as we see the Jaguars pick up a first down here while down 31.
I found the TikTok. I'll show Sheldon here.
That is absolutely hilarious. You'll love to see that. That's basically how Austin's been this game, sitting on the couch here right next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jets are going to blow this game. I've been saying this. I just didn't trust that 20-3 lead, and sure enough,
It is now down to a 3rd and 1 on the Jets' 6-yard line, it looks.
and Mike Glennon almost threw a pick 6 to Trevathan. Mike Glennon's brutal to watch. I don't know how you think this guy could ever give you the best chance to win. Watching him week to week, he's terrible.
Yeah, I'm really unsure. Doug Marone's going to be out, right, Austin?
He's gone. There's no way that the next GM wants to keep him around. One of the worst coaches in the league, for sure.
Interesting thing to note here, the Steelers do have the ball. They have closed the gap here on Indianapolis. It is now 24-21, and they have the ball. They could be looking at a win. Shanat lays the boom on a defensive back, picks up an extra 1. And he has something to say to Fuller after the snap, too. And Shanat with a pretty solid pickup there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Arvega, again, thank you for tagging us. Anytime you come across anything NFL-related that you think we'd love to see, definitely tag us. We're quite active on there, and we'll definitely love seeing what you want to share with us. Also, in the comments below on any of our videos, make sure to comment. The Cleveland Browns did score a touchdown. The score was a Kareem Hunt run for 4 yards, and the Browns are seemingly going to be within 3 after the PAT here. Huge implications yet again on the Trevor Lawrence chase. At this point, you're looking at the Jets not being out of it if they blow this lead to the Cleveland Browns. I wonder what's going to happen with Adam Gase after this game. Could be fired following the game if they do blow that lead. But it'll be yet to be seen, obviously, at this point. Colquitt here to punt for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chiefs also down in their game, have 4 minutes to go score. Wouldn't bet against them scoring, though. Merch. Nice.
Yeah, pretty crazy, guys, what we're seeing here.
Be sure to check the description for merchandise or socials if you guys are interested to follow us on those platforms. Also, comment on our recent post and tell us you came from YouTube. We'd love to see that and track where you guys are kind of coming from. Make sure that you guys are coming from our YouTube channel. That is our biggest platform at this point.
Yeah, really important that you guys show where you came from and what you like seeing, what you'd like to see more of. If you'd like to see some more TikToks, some NFL sports topics that you'd like to see a video on, we are very open to suggestions in our comments section. What's happening with the Jets?
Parkey did miss his extra point after the touchdown. It is 16-20. That has huge implications. Field goal will not tie it now for the Cleveland Browns after that missed PAT. 12 and a half minutes remaining. The Jets are starting at their own 18. And if they get a 3-and-out, you can see the Browns possibly take it back. A touchdown for them with an extra point would make it a 3-point game in their favor. A lot to monitor here yet. Sam Darnold, a little up and down on the year. 12 of 24 today, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But quite frankly, hasn't been able to push the ball down the field, not only today, but all season. And pretty much for the majority of his career at this point, hasn't had a lot of success over the top. Obviously, Robbie Anderson's departure is a big reason why as well. He was the only over-the-top weapon that they really had for a while. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream as well. Let us know in the comments below if you are new here what your favorite team is if you haven't already this stream. We could give you our thoughts on your guys' team's future, maybe what you would look to do in the NFL draft this coming March. It would be interesting to see what you guys kind of think as well about some of the draft stuff. We do post mock drafts every Monday for those of you who are new to our channel. Austin, what's your takeaways from this Sunday game schedule that we're seeing at this point?
What I expected, I had expected Jacksonville to actually put up a little better of a fight than they have. They did in the first half for sure. I was nervous about this game, that this is going to end it in an L. Nick Foles replaces Trubisky in the game. He's got 1,800 yards this year, 10 touchdowns, 8 picks, 65% completion. Trubisky getting rest, which is just weird to see, not being replaced for being bad. So that's kind of an odd thing to see. Thoughts on the Chargers? Obviously, Justin Herbert has been way better than everyone expected. He's a franchise quarterback. Looking at the running back position, you're going to have Austin Eckler back for all of next year, so that's great to see. Keenan Allen's a stud, for sure, a top 10 receiver, one of the best route runners in the league. You could argue the best, but he's for sure one of the best. Looking at the defense, Melvin Ingram's gone, I think, in my opinion. I don't know if you think that same thing, but I think Melvin Ingram is on his way out. He's going to command a lot of money that you guys probably won't be willing to pay him. Joey Bosa. I think next year the Chargers could be a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, you've got a really talented roster. Herbert has been way better than I had expected him to be coming in. I didn't really know if his game would translate, but it clearly has. He's been able to go through reads, deliver under pressure. That's really been the thing that sticks out to me watching him is when he sticks in the pocket, takes hits, delivers the ball accurately and on time and on target. That's something you need out of your quarterback. He's been able to do that even as a rookie. And I think that you guys have a really high ceiling now with him moving forward. I think that he's been wonderful. Hopefully he keeps up the great play moving forward. Agreed, Melvin needs to go. Yeah, just the price tag's not going to match the production, unfortunately, for a guy like him.
See what the Jets are doing right now.
Let's go back into this here. Let's take a look. LaMichael Pirine rushes for 9 yards. They did move the chains here. If the Jets go down and score, they could increase their lead to 7, and then possibly with a field goal. And important to note, if they do win today and the Jaguars down 31, expecting them to lose, obviously, at this point now, the Jaguars would lock up the first overall pick, would lock up the ability to select Trevor Lawrence first overall, and could really jumpstart their future. There is 10 minutes left to play in that game.
We might get flexed to that game.
That would be perfect if we did, too.
Oh, no.
Oh, Terrell drops an interception, says R. Vega. Obviously, we were just talking about Terrell earlier being the best rookie corner so far this year. He has been playing very well. Does not get the interception there, it sounds like. But obviously was in the right spot still to contest a catch.
Looks like the Jets, Pirine for 6 to the 50.
2nd and 4 now here. This drive has been 5 plays for 26 yards.
They're able to take some time off the clock, hopefully running the football.
On the day, Frank Gore has 13 carries for 44 yards. LaMichael Pirine has 5 carries for 19. 14 of those coming on the last 2 plays.
Really unfortunate that the Jets had their kick blocked because that would have been a really big thing for Jags fans. If they would have had that field goal, had a little more of a cushion. Obviously, a block kick has changed the momentum in a game.
And a big thing here, looking at the bottom line here, we have the Cincinnati Bengals with the ball down by 4 to the Houston Texans. Austin, we've been talking about some of the implications with that game, what we could be looking at for mock draft status, possible NFL draft status, assuming the board plays out week 17. What do you kind of think about that game there, what it could mean for the Miami Dolphins, and also the Cincinnati Bengals in their pursuit for Penei Sewell?
Yeah, I mean, for Cincinnati, you definitely actually don't want to win this game. And Mike Lennon missed a wide open Keelan Cole.
Probably his worst throw of the day, to be honest, too. Oh,
absolutely.
My gosh.
Oh, he's had a few.
He's had a few battles.
Roquan is the beneficiary of 2 of them. So, yeah, but looking at that, if you're Cincinnati, you don't want to win. But assuming that the Jets, we got a 3rd and 5.
Frank Gore just picked up 4 yards, 3rd and 5 now on the right at midfield, essentially. 7 plays, 31 yards on this drive for the New York Jets. Pittsburgh still does have the ball down 3 as well, but back to the Cincy game.
Score alert from Cincinnati, or excuse me, Kansas City. Marcus Robinson scored.
DJ Chark gets hit low. What a wonderful catch, though. His second, but he does come up hobbling, hops off the field. Looks like it could be a possible knee injury. Did take contact right into that lower leg area. That's not what you want to see as a Jaguar. Got ran up on by McManus. Had beat Fuller on his route, but he looks really shaken up right now, Austin.
Yeah.
Does not look good. Has had a pretty strong day. 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
It's really, really unfortunate to see that. You never want to see an injury like that. What did the Jets do? Incomplete. Uh-oh. You're the New York Jets.
4th and 5, they are
You're
in a
happy.
punting situation possibly. They are also in a spot of the field where they can maybe go for it, go for the win. It would be very aggressive. Don't think it would be the move, but who knows what Adam Gase will do. We'll keep that coming for you guys here at this point. Interesting 4th and 5 here for the New York Jets. Mekhi Becton did have a false start in that series of downs.
Yeah, I was wondering how they got so behind the chains there.
Chris Conley with a pickup of 8 here, coming in for DJ Chark, who is obviously shaken up right now. Not something you want to see if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. For long term, hopefully he's okay. But in the short term, the Jaguars fans are probably all right if he misses a game or two.
Was
here.
a punt down to the Cleveland 12.
Cleveland has 7.5 minutes to go, needs 4 points to tie the New York Jets. Obviously would need a touchdown to take the lead here. Field goal will not do it for them. And they have 86 yards to go to get there. It'll be an interesting thing to monitor. Stay right here with us for more information on that game. And Austin, back to that Cincinnati game with the Houston Texans as we see a wonderful touchdown catch by Laviska Shenault in traffic. There's some of that potential we were talking about earlier in the stream. You know, he's been really up and down this year. Part of that's the quarterback play. I think he's a guy that Jaguars fans should be excited about. And if Trevor Lawrence is the franchise QB here, him, Shenault, and Chark could be a really good combination with James Robinson also coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, I really like the receiving group that we have put together so far. So really enjoy that.
What a juju catch. We have not seen that yet. We will have to be keeping our eyes on that. Colts really choking. Yeah, they are having – 28-24 now. Pittsburgh gets the PAT after the score. Let me go check into that game real quick, see if I can find what is going on there. Baltimore is handling the New York Giants as we expected. Let's see here if I can find that game. The scoring play there was a Juju Smith-Schuster 25-yard touchdown catch. The Steelers have scored 21 straight. Deontay Johnson with a 39-yard touchdown reception. Eric Ebron for 5 yards touchdown. And Juju Smith-Schuster, the 25-yarder that we're talking about right now, from 21-7 to 28-24. What a turn of events is right, our Vega. We had even been ruling the Steelers out a little bit here. I had been doing that. They come back, prove us wrong. What a wonderful turn of events for them is correct. And back to that Bengals game, also with the Texans like we were talking about. If you're the Miami Dolphins, obviously you're cheering for the Texans to lose. Talk about really the potential of the Dolphins moving forward. They have 2 first-round picks this year, a lot of assets, played really well. What's your thought on them and Brian Flores?
Yeah, Brian Flores and the staff there has put together a really, really good coaching staff, along with, obviously, they've assembled a really, really good group of players. But for Miami, if you're able to land a top 3 pick and you can leverage that in a trade for a quarterback-needy team possibly, or a team that wants to move up and take Sewell, like say even the Chargers that would be interested in something like that, they would be able to add more draft picks and obviously still get a really good player because they would probably stay within that top 10 realm. Obviously, I think they have a phenomenal core. It's really interesting that Tua got benched last night. I don't know if people were able to catch that, but just kind of weird. I'm not sure why they've been so up and down on starting him and benching him, and it's just kind of weird how that's gone, but I really like their roster holistically. I think that they have some really nice pieces, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Byron Jones has been a good signing. Kyle Van Noy's been a good signing. Xavier Howard's a really, really good player. So, yeah, exactly. Tua getting benched twice now. I'm not really sure if that really hurts the confidence of a player. So, I was not in favor of playing Tua at all this year if I was a Dolphins fan, but it's just me.
And looking at kind of what we've seen with the Miami Dolphins too, obviously Kyle Van Noy was a really good addition for them. What do you think possibly about a Micah Parsons selection, putting him in that Brian Flores defense right next to Kyle Van Noy and possibly the fit there with Parsons?
Yeah, I think that would be a really, really good fit for them. Obviously, let's take a look at that Jets game, 16-20 still, and the Browns are moving the ball once again. So we could definitely see Cleveland win this game and force this to a Week 17 Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes thing. Cincinnati's on the 8-yard line too, by the way, so they could take the lead in that game.
They are down by 4 at this point, 27-31. Could be a huge turning point there as well when it comes to draft stuff. If you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. We have a mock draft coming out tomorrow after some of these games get kind of set in stone with the order. A lot to monitor, really, with these franchises. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the mocks at this point. And we have a roughing the passer on the New York Jets. It looks like the Cleveland Browns, with 7 minutes to play, are up to the 37 already. Could be looking at a possible score for them at this point. Let's go back to the comments. Would you guys draft Chase, Waddle, or Parsons with the Dolphins' first pick? That is a wonderful question, R. Vega. That's really kind of the direction point that we could be looking at for those, for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, could use a weapon for Tua Tagovailoa, but also Parsons, like we had just talked about, is a really great fit in that defense. Austin, if it came down to you, I think you'd probably go with Chase over Waddle. So I'll limit it to Waddle or to Chase or Parsons, really, at the Dolphins spot.
That's the toughest question that we've had all day, no question. Obviously, I think that Micah Parsons is a transcendent player on that defense, but I also think Chase gives that to you on the offensive side of the ball. I think to really aid the development of Tua Tagovailoa, that's really crucial that you go and get a wideout. But I also see the value in Micah Parsons on that defense. For me, I would probably take Micah Parsons. I really would. I think he would be a phenomenal fit there. And you're just going to have to wait until that second pick, because on the Dolphins' second pick, you would be able to take a really talented receiver, like we talked about the depth in the class. For me, there's two really good linebackers in this class, and Koromoa and Parsons. So for me personally, I would go with Parsons and then come back and take a Bateman or whoever it may be with that second pick.
Right, you're looking at a lot of different options really for the Miami Dolphins. I think Parsons or Chase will be the pick early on. And assuming they go with Parsons, they have the assets to grab another receiver later in that first round, like you had mentioned. But if they do decide that Jamar Chase is the player that they want, if they really like his fit next to Devontae Parker and with Tua Tagovailoa, they could also use that later first-round pick that they have of their own and maybe attach an asset or two to make sure they go up and get a Wusu Koromoa. He has a lot of talent. He really jumps off the screen while you watch him. And I think he would be a great fit as well in that Miami defense. So really, you're looking at probably a wide receiver and linebacker going to Miami in the first round. It just kind of depends on which one goes at what point.
Ooh, another interception by Glennon, but that will be called back. Sheldon with the pick.
Offside. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Pretty interesting here now. Gibson gets the offside call.
Well, taking a look again, I'm going to take a look and see what the status of the Jets game is. I think that, like I was calling earlier, I think the Jets are going to blow this game for sure. 2nd and 20, though, for Cleveland. Uh-oh. At the Cleveland 27, they must have had a holding call take place. We got to take a look and see what that was.
4th and 20 now. For the Cleveland Browns, it looks like they will have to punt at this point. Interesting spot for them now. Only 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, 6.5 minutes to go. A punt here, they would need a pretty quick stop and to force a punt here for the New York Jets. Looks like the Chiefs-Falcons game is going to go to OT, says R. Vega. That's an interesting game to watch. R. Vega thinks they go with Chase and then get Moses or someone else in the first or second.
I like that too. Like I said, there's definitely some routes that they can go. Man, it's tough because Chase is a phenomenal talent. Like I've been telling you and saying in the stream, but I do like the Dylan Moses pick in the second too. So don't get me wrong, that's a great idea too. There's a lot of ways they can go, but I think Brian Flores would be more apt to take a defensive player, considering he's a defensive-minded coach, wanting to get a puzzle piece that you can do a lot of different things with. He's a guy that's very versatile. So,
yeah, really looking at them too, it kind of depends on where they end up falling in the draft. That's why this Texans-Bengals game is so important today, because if they're earlier, I feel like it's more likely they take Micah Parsons, but it's possible that Parsons could still go in front of them somehow. Maybe a team like the New York Jets feel like they want to pair him with C.J. Mosley in a 3-4 defense. It kind of just depends on where the draft falls, and if Jamar Chase is there and Parsons isn't, I think that they'll run that pick up to the podium. But there is quite a few different situations still for the Miami Dolphins. Moritz says, Tua somehow not doing good yet. In my opinion, Burrow and Herbert have been better. Yes, they have been. Burrow was playing phenomenally with almost nothing around him. Herbert playing very well, does have quite a bit more, weapons around him, in my opinion. Keenan Allen's one of the better receivers in the NFL, heavily underrated receiver, great route runner like we had talked about earlier in the stream, and I think that's definitely helped Herbert in a lot of ways. Burrow, he's kind of been doing it with a rookie wide receiver there in T. Higgins. A.J. Green hasn't been great this year. Tyler Boyd really hasn't been what many had hoped he would be this season. But Burrow's been great. Herbert's been great. Tua, he's a step behind, but he's still coming back from that injury. I think that long-term he could still be really good. All right, R. Vegas says he's going to head out with the Chargers game starting soon, but I enjoyed my stay. Love the streams and content. Have a great rest of your Sunday. You too, R. Vegas. Super thankful to have you in here.
Thank you.
One of our most loyal subscribers. Love having you in here. Go Chargers. Hope they have a really good game day today. Moritz says, wow, Falcons missed the field goal. Younghoe Koo blows the game, it sounds like. Let me go look into that game a little bit more. That is the final, 17-14. Quite an end here as Younghoe Koo does miss the field goal. Interesting turn of events there. Overtime is not meant to be for the Atlanta Falcons. Yet another game blown down the stretch. Eligible receiver, though, 48. Yeah, they don't see that.
I don't know where.
Oh, my gosh. Oh. They called it.
I don't know.
Wow, that's an interesting.
He literally threw it to the receiver. Trent Green's well defended. Check the Jets.
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up right now. Sam Darnold. Let's take a look at him. LaMichael Pirine, they do have the ball. They're right at midfield here now. They did get one first down already this drive. 5 minutes left to play, and the clock is ticking after a LaMichael Pirine run. Here, 2nd and 6 now for the New York Jets. Looks like the Browns are going to have to make a late game comeback here. It's going to be tough for them.
Especially since they don't have receivers, too. Yeah. Keep that in mind.
Remember, the Jets here with a win guarantee that they cannot have the first overall pick with the Jacksonville loss today to the Chicago Bears. Obviously, that game is still going on, but they're down by 24 with 1 minute and 42 seconds left. That game is over, essentially. The big thing to watch now is Browns-Jets. Hopefully this game just gets over with. We get to see a different game, maybe the end of the Jets game. Laviska Shenault here with a catch, though. Fights through a little bit of contact, picks up 4 yards or so, 3 yards. And a pretty good
This game's over, fellas. So take a look. It all comes down to the Jets game. Sam Darnold, incomplete pass. Trying to get that first down.
You got 3rd and 6 now. Clock is stopped, obviously, on an incompletion. 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go left in the game. Interesting finish here in New York.
Man, I have a feeling the Jets are going to blow this one. Really do.
Colquitt gets the punt away. 59 seconds left in the game here, folks. 41-17 is the score. We got a fair catch by Carter. And a couple kneel downs will do it here in today's game.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching that have tuned in. We are going to sign off here. Do appreciate you entering the stream, and we hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. A mock draft's getting a lot clearer. Absolutely, Moritz.
Yeah,
thank you.
Moritz, thank you so much for spending the time in the stream today. We loved all your comments. Really appreciate you being a part of the channel here and helping us out in the live stream. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.